इथनं लॉग आउट
इथनं लॉग आउट व्हा तुम्हाला सांगतो ते करा.
तुम्ही तुमच्या इथनं
माझ्या ह्याच्यात करा. दादांचं स्वतःचं अकाउंट आहे.
का दादाचं त्यात सांगा.
amarsiapatanकर@gmail.com आणि मोबाईल नंबर पासवर्ड टाका. चला
एकच मिनिट हे लागेल खाली चल.
सर युट्यूबची लिंक तयार केलं.
लाईव्ह मला फक्त एकट्याला पाठवा. लाईव्ह
तुमचा मेल आयडी सांगा.
वायफाय आहे की
चार्जिंगची कॉर्ड नको काय.
ठीक आहे ह्याची आहे ना.
दादांसाठी जोडणार चार्जिंग संपलं पटकन बंद झालं. ही बघा बरं तुम्हाला पाठवले.
ही कुणाची आहे? ही चार्जिंग आहे की खाली आपलाच आहे ना
त्याच्यावर राहील
मधलं सुद्धा नाही
म्हणजे इथं हे करून उपयोगच आहे नाही. व्यक्तिमाने बसून येतं.
लाईव्ह आहे ना
हो लाईव्ह. आलं का मेल आलं. येते ना. हॅलो हॅलो
जरा उशिरा होते पण होते 2-1 मिनिटांना झाले. हे करून टाका डिस्टर्ब म्हणजे आता सध्या लास्ट मी स्टॉप करा.
इथं आता व्हिडिओ
लॅपटॉपवर गेला. आहे पलीकडे
आणि आता खालनं जॉईन झालं.
स्क्रीन शेअर करून बघा आवाज येतोय.
सरांना 2:30च म्हणते ना. सरांचा मेसेज आला जॉईनिंग ॲट 11.
नाही पाहुण्याकडे होऊन
त्याच्यातलं फ्लायर टाकूया का?
ते एकच करायचं हे एक नाही हे दोन एवढंच वापरायचं आणि एवढं लाइटिंग आपल्या आणि फ्लायर मध्ये सगळं आहे ना.
समान सरांनी तुमच्या हातात काढली. आणि सिक्वेन्स तुम्हाला माहिती त्याच्यानंतर आमचे सेक्रेटरी जनरल सेक्रेटरी
ऍडमिट करू.
खाली येणार आहे.
Hello. Are you hear the sound? निमर सर.
हा बोला की सर.
हा का आवाज येतोय का?
येतोय स्क्रीन शेअर करून करतो. आवाज येतोय.
येतोय ना? ओके.
स्क्रीनला नाव काय येणार?
हॅलो सर, माझा आवाज येतोय का? हॅलो कुठे सर?
हा
माझा आवाज येतोय ना?
हो येतोय येतोय.
हा एक मिनिट मला आवाज येतोय का? हॅलो आवाज येतोय का ऐकू? गुड आफ्टरनून टू ऑल ऑफ यू.
कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
स्पीकर व्ह्यू मध्ये जे बोलतो त्याचा आवाज
होस्ट करून टाकेल.
मला पोस्ट
नाही यांना
त्यांना पोस्ट करायला लागेल.
आता नाव कुठलं येणार मध्ये काळ्या स्क्रीन येतात की नाही त्याच्यावर नाव कुठलं
कुठलं?
येतं
येतो प्रश्न पणच काढले की आपण.
हॅलो सर, कुठे सर?
हॅलो हा बोला सर.
तुम्हाला को होस्ट केले. आवाज म्हणजे काय येतो?
हॅलो हॅलो सर.
तुम्हाला को होस्ट येतोय. तुम्हाला को होस्ट केले का?
होस्ट केले का? बर. आता ऍडमिट आल्यानंतर लोकांचं कसं करणार?
तुम्ही ऍडमिट करू नका.
हा मग तेच वर तिथंच करूया, तुमच्या इथंच करा. हा
करतील आता
चालेल.
इथं सरांना आता जॉईन व्हायला सांगणार.
ओके ओके ठीक.
सरांना कधी जॉईन कर?
प्राचार्यांचं चालू केलंय. हे टाकायचं लॉग इन.
हा लॉग इन करा, जॉईन करा सांगा.
युट्यूबची बघितली कोणती मग
आयडी हे टाका फक्त.
कॉपी
टाकलं होतं का?
प्राचार्यांचं नाव पण बदललं.
हो.
व्हॉट्सअप बघू.
एक हे तयार केले कॉपी केली म्हणजे
साईन करा मला. पुढे सर.
केलंय ऍडमिट. प्राचार्यांचं जोडलंय बघा.
हो, आलेत.
आलेत ना? हा. ओके.
स्क्रीन काय फोन करते मी करेल सर करते स्क्रीन शेअरिंग वाजवणं वगैरे होणार आहे.
फक्त मी बोलायचे मी बाकी
तुम्ही काय करायचं तुम्ही कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन फक्त बोलणार तुम्ही काय करायचं काय करायचं मला कशाला
निमट सर सुधार सर
नाही म्यूट केलेच.
हॅलो, बोला.
आवाज ऐकू येतोय का?
येतो.
तुमचा आवाज ऐकू येत नाहीये.
हॅलो, येतोय का?
बारीक येतोय, फार बारीक.
हॅलो,
आवाज फार बारीक येतोय.
काय करा माहिती का
हॅलो,
त्या तुमच्या ग्रुपचं मला ऍडमिट करा.
हॅलो, येतोय का?
तर मी
कमी
सांगितलं
येतोय, कमी.
ऍडमिट पण सर आहेत का?
कमी येतोय आवाज.
ऍडमिटला काही मेसेज बोलता येणार.
बरं, हेडफोन जोडलाय, कमी येतोय का आवाज? हॅलो,
हा हॅलो
आता येतोय का आवाज व्यवस्थित?
आवाज येतोय ऐकू?
हा,
किती आवाज चांगला आवाज
माझा फोन सेव
काय?
सेव होईना झाली.
हा.
त्यांचा आवाज. माझा येतोय का?
मॅडम जरा पासून मिनिट बोला
मॅडम, बोला.
ते काय दम टाकलं की.
पण हे करा मग
सेव करायचं.
पण बसते
हॅलो
मध्ये मला सेव करायचं.
माझा आवाज ऐकू येतोय का?
त्यांना जे राष्ट्रात
माझा आवाज ऐकू येतोय का?
त्यांना टेन्शन
इथं काय दाबलं?
इथं नाही दाबायचं काय वजा चिन्ह.
हॅलो सर
झालं का?
हॅलो सुपुकडे सर
आवाज
करायचं.
हा बोला सर
आवाज फार कमी.
हा हॅलो सर आवाज येतो का?
हा येतोय आता 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 आवाज.
फक्त एक काम करायचं दादा आणि प्राचार्य बोलतानाच तिथला अनम्यूट करा.
हा ते करतो बाकी प्राचार्यांचा अनम्यूट करणार आणि दादांचा चालू ठेवणार.
सुपुकडे
ओके.
सर तुमच्या इथं कोण बसणार आहे सुपुकडे सर?
दादा बसणार आहेत.
मग मागचा पडदा जरा पूर्ण बंद करा तो पांढरा लाल झाले तुमच्या मागचा
पडदे दोन्ही पूर्ण बंद केलेत.
देवकांत उभा आहे ना तो पडदा इकडे
तेवढाच आहे तो.
एवढाच आहे
तेवढाच.
बरं.
हा
बरं.
तेवढाच आहे मध्ये हा. आता बघा बरं.
फार कमी येतोय.
बरं मी जरा हे करते एकदा बोलते बघा येतो का आवाज?
हा
तुमचे म्यूट करा तुमचे म्यूट करा सर.
हा केलंय.
करू स्टार्ट.
आवाज फार कमी आहे.
फडणीस सर तुमचा म्यूट करा दोघांचे. मी एक रिहर्सल घेते. गुड मॉर्निंग लेडीज अँड जेंटलमन. It's my pleasure to introduce me. I am Dr. Manisha Sapkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Balasaheb Desai College, Patan. On behalf of Balasaheb Desai College, Patan, as a coordinator of today's program, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all. Hello sir, येतो का आवाज? हॅलो येतोय ना आवाज सुतार सर? हा सुतार सर आवाज येतोय ना? आला का आवाज? फडणीस सर आवाज आला ना? तुम्ही म्यूट आहे आता आवाज मला येत नाही. हॅलो फडणीस सर, आवाज आला का?
हा आता ऐकू येते मॅडम.
येतोय ना व्यवस्थित?
हा येतो येतो ऐकू येते.
ओके.
हा हॅलो, ऐकू येतो ना आवाज?
येतोय येतोय.
ओके ओके. सध्या म्यूट आणि व्हिडिओ म्यूट करू
फडणीस
काय?
सर,
हा
ती लिंक तेवढी टेलिग्रामला पाठवा आणि निवड सरांना ऍडमिन करा की टेलिग्राम ग्रुपला.
टेलिग्रामला.
हा टेलिग्रामला, म्हणजे मध्ये मध्ये काय जर टाकायचं झालं तर ते टाकतील ना.
बरं बरं बरं. पण निमट सर जॉईन झाले असतील की त्या ग्रुपला?
जॉईन आहेत सगळेच करू शकतो. टाकू शकते सर तुम्ही, डरायची गरज नाही. हे बंद करायला लागेल. नाही हे उडते बंदच करणार आहे किंवा तिकडं वारे गेले तरी चालेल. नाही नाही बरोबर, ते बंदच करणार आहे मी. ते लिंक पाठवूया.
निमट सर जॉईन आहेत त्या ग्रुपला.
मला ते येते की सगळे मला तीन
माईक आहे ना, बिलकुल तोंडाला लावणार ते गोडा दिसते.
आवाज येतोय ना?
आणि आवाज सगळ्यांनी येत असतो बघा, आपण आवाज येतो
आपल्यालाच
असं वाटतं. छान हे का आवाज येतो.
कॉपी करते लिंक. कॉपी
प्राचार्य झाले, तुम्ही झाले, ती झाले, बरोबर.
आता सुपलीकडे सर आहे, सुपलीकर सरांना म्हणा.
सुपलीकर सरांना सांगतो आत या, जॉईन व्हा.
कदम सरांना पण म्हटले. आणि एक असं केलंय, आपलं शेवटचं सेशन नाही केलंय शेअरचं, आपलं संपलं पाहुण्यांचं की असं केलं. ओव्हरऑल संजय पाटीलकर, थँक्यू सो मच सर. हे झालं त्यांचे की थँक्यू सो मच सर फॉर इन्फॉर्मेशन. नो आय कॅन कॉल अपॉन श्री पवार डिपार्टमेंट. Thank you to take the charge of discussion session. Discussion session will be chaired by Dr. Mari Devi. We will conclude session. सर त्यांना कनेक्ट करून देतो म्हणजे त्यांची ओळख केली आहे आणि ते त्यांना माळीसरांना कनेक्ट करून देतो.
पवार सर त्यांची ओळख करून देतील आणि माळेसरांना
आणि झालं सांगितलं झालं की पवार सरच फडणीस सरांना जोडून देऊ. आपला रोल संपला.
फक्त त्या माळेसरांना पोस्ट करून टाका, पोस्ट करून टाका.
ते म्हटले काय गरज नाही.
समजा काय आवाज वाजत नाही, काय त्याचा अर्थ नाही म्हणा. पोस्टला काय तसं स्क्रीन शेअर करायचं नाही प्रॉब्लेम.
नाही करायचं आणि ते दिसणारच आहे. कॉपी करायला पाहिजे ना लिंक.
पाठवा, मी त्याच्याकडे जरा घेऊन घेतो. कारण काय माहिती काय वेळेला मध्ये जर युट्यूबवरचे काय क्वेश्चन आले का नाही, तर आपण ते क्वेश्चन युट्यूबचे स्कॉलर पाठवून व्हॉट्सअपला ते कोण युट्यूबचे क्वेश्चन विचारेल ना,
त्यापेक्षा माळीसरांना पाठवा.
हा माळेसरांना पाठवतो.
तुमचे काय नंबर?
किती नंबर माळेसरांचा? कारण काय युट्यूबचे क्वेश्चन आपल्याला कसे मिळणार? युट्यूबचे क्वेश्चन बघायला लागणार आपल्याला. सुप्रियाला सांगून देतो युट्यूबचे क्वेश्चन असेल तुम्हाला पाठवतो. जास्त नाही ते नंबर वाटतोय का? काय ट्रायल काय आणि उद्योग वर्षाचा काय अडचण येत नाही. तिथं सगळं केलंय आणि
सेटिंग पण हे करते. युट्यूबची लिंक पाठवते तुमची डोक्यातून जाईल पण.
युट्यूबची लिंक पाठवा ग्रुपला आवाज द्यायला आणि मोबाईल तुमचा पूर्णपणे सायलेंट मोड ठेवा.
एक मिनिट थांबा सर, एक मिनिट. मी पाठवले ते बघा. एक मिनिट.
हॅलो, सुपनेकर सरना जॉईन करायचंय काय?
मला पडले का ते?
हा
आता फॉरवर्ड करू.
नको
की टेलिग्रामला टाका सांगतो त्यांना.
हा टाका.
निमट सर
मी माझी पण टाकते कुठे टाकायचं. टेलिग्रामला जे टाकते. टेलिग्राम तुम्ही पण टाका, तिथे काय केलेलं नाही.
काय काय ओनली ऍडमिन कॅन सेंड आहे. हो असं आहे. असं केलं त्यामुळे तुम्ही काय टाक
त्यांना सांगायला लागेल.
पाठवून टेलिग्रामला लागेल.
आणि सप्का मॅडम
टेलिग्राम.
हॅलो
मेसेज रिझल्ट आला होता.
ह्याला कसं ऍडमिन करायचं? ऍडमिन कसं बदलायचं? आणखी करावं लागेल.
सुपनेकर सर जॉईन आहे. सुपनेकर सर
मी केलेलं नाही.
सुपनेकर सर करू का जॉईन? सुपनेकर सर
आणखी काय करावं?
आणि युट्यूबच्या लिंक पाठवा म्हणले काकांना. युट्यूबच्या लिंक हॅलो
तुझे 2 नंबर आहेत. काय नाही बरोबर तुम्ही सांगितलं.
व्हॉट्सअपवर तुझे पाठवले बघा, लिंक आणि पाठवले.
ऍड करायचं का? ऍड वाढली तुम्हाला काही का बंद होते. आता करायला लागेल ते मागचं बंद होते.
परवा दाखवलं नाही तर आम्ही काय म्हणणार बघा सरांनी पाठवलं ते इतके गांभीर्याने करतात नाही मला कळवलंच नाही तुम्ही.
होईल आता तुम्हाला मागचं सेक्शन बंद करा. काय असं होतं? मी त्यांच्या
अंधारच येतो तिथं काय जरा करतात.
तर प्रॅक्टिस करा. उद्या दिवस काय अडचण नाही.
बोलायची
आणि बरोबर आहे नोट स्टार्ट करा.
एक पडदा उडतोय तिकडचा.
पाहुण्याकडे हात घालायला सुरुवात करायची. फक्त जरा तिथं असं बसायचं की तो त्याच कॅमेरा दिसला नाही पाहिजे आणि त्याला असं करता आला पाहिजे.
बरोबर ते पाठवते आणि बसते बसा.
पन्नी सर आवाज येतोय का?
हे काय एक्स्ट्रा आहे का? एक्स्ट्रा आहे का? पंचायत म्हणून द्यावा.
इकडच्या बाजूला घ्यावं इकडे अंदर
पुढं घ्या की तुम्ही. पुढं असं केलं मागे दिसतो.
हॅलो मॅडम.
तुम्ही भाषण करताना मागे जास्त मागे बसला.
हॅलो.
बोलत नाही. आता इथे घ्या मग इथे घ्या.
नमस्कार लिंक पाठवली तुम्हाला सगळ्या व्हॉट्सअपला लिंक पाठवली आहे. तुमचा नंबर आयडी नंबर हा चालेल चालेल. आणि 349
हॅलो
349 ऍडमिशन झाली ऑनलाईन.
541 आहेत.
500
कालची 541 बंद केला आपण.
फोन करायचं.
काय करतो?
असं का? तुम्ही केलं. आता आज क्लिअर आहे. दादा बसले इथं आणि ते मागे दिसत त्याला मागे
लाईव्ह बंद आहे ना.
लाईव्ह शेअर केलं तुम्ही
मॅडम
ते चालू आहे.
आपला व्हिडिओ बंद करा.
तिकडचा बंद केला पाहिजे वरचा.
एका दिवशी तोड मागं फिरलं तरी चालेल. तसंच तिकडचे पडलं. हा मागं नाही झालं नाही, पूर्णपणे मागं ते इकडे पण तोड तिकडे. हा हा तिथे तुमची गॅलरी.
हा अगदी पलीकडे चालेल.
हा तिथे काय पडलं
सुरुकडे बसतात ना तिथे पुढची. तिथे पुढची जाईल का तुमची?
ते नाही आलं. ठीक आहे. इन्स्टॉल करायचं.
हॅलो सर.
त्याला मायक्रोफोन आहे. त्याचा आवाज चांगला आहे. नाही आवाज
हॅलो सर. हॅलो सर. हॅलो सर. हॅलो सर. हॅलो सपोर्ट सर. हा माझा आवाज येतोय का?
हा येतोय आवाज.
हा ओके ओके. इथं दादांना कशाची कुठे केली सोय?
जॉईन करून घ्या काका किंवा
नाही ते युट्यूब लावायला बघा.
होय का? व्यवस्थित कोण इकडे जरी आला कागद वाचताना आम्ही कागद वाचताना म्हणल्यावर
स्पीकर हिथं असणार का तिथं असणार आहे? स्पीकर
हे दादांना परतचं भाषण ऐकता यावं म्हणून
काय वाटते ते डबीला ती केबलच्या वायर वरनं आले की नाही
एका ठिकाणी कुठं तरी
नाही केबल कडनं आलेली काळी वायर जी आहे की नाही तिथे पांढऱ्या डबीमध्ये सगळ्यात कोपऱ्यातल्या ह्याच्यामध्ये फक्त घुसव आणि लाव ते निघते सारखी लूज झाली.
हो बरोबर.
लक्षात आलं का? केबल कडनं आलेली ती वायर. हॅलो उपनेकर सर.
हा बोला.
ऐकू येतोय आवाज?
थोडा कमी येतोय.
कमी येतोय.
आवाज येतोय, साऊंड लेवल कमी वाटतं.
साऊंड फुल वाढवलेलं आहे की.
कमी वाटते.
थोडासा आवाज करा की, तुमचा आवाज करा मोठा.
आता ऐका येतोय का?
हॅलो,
100. आता ऐका येतोय का?
आवाज येतोय पण खूप कमी वाटतोय सर.
हॅलो
हेडफोन वापरा सर इकडे.
हॅलो
हा
हॅलो हॅलो
हा येतोय आवाज सर,
हा
पण कमी माग थांबल्यानंतर कमी येतोय.
माग हा ते मायक्रोफोन पुढे आहे. फॅन बंद करून मग हे करता चालते.
हेडफोन वापरा सर, हेडफोन.
हा हेडफोन वापरू का?
हा म्हणजे चांगला येईल.
चालेल ठीक आहे.
वापरून बघा बोलतो.
जॉबला हेडफोन आहे की चालू आहे? आहे चालूच आहे की. खाली तिथपर्यंत ठेवला तरी बसेल.
विमल सर कुठे आहे? आता बोला बघू सर.
हॅलो, स्वप्नेकर सर,
हा बोला सर.
आता आवाज बघा.
हा आवाज मला कमीच वाटतोय अजून.
अजून कमीच आहे.
माझा स्पीकर बघू का?
हेडफोन जोडले आता बघा. आता आवाज जात येत नाही मागं. पुढे सर, हे असं मागं चुकून जर मान हलवली ते सगळं हलते. खाली येणार नाही होत.
हॅलो,
हा हॅलो. थोडा असं एवढा माणूस आला एवढं तोंडी
फडणीस सर आवाज येत आहे तुमचा?
मागं जात नाही. हॅलो,
इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये काम करणार त्या विषयावर येऊ शकतो.
हा बोल.
कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
हॅलो निंबळ सर.
30 नंतर होणार होता. 20 मिनिट हा वर्ष आपण हे एखाद्या असं होते की प्रत्येक डिपार्टमेंटला झूम ऑन करते.
हॅलो निंबळ सर.
हा बोला की सर.
सगळ्या ठिकाणचे आवाज तेच करायला पाहिजे. आवाज आता फडणीस सरांचा कमी येतो.
हॅलो हा आता येतोय का?
चांगला आवाज आहे तो. मागाशी बघितले.
हॅलो
हॅलो माय टेस्ट. हॅलो स्वप्नेकर सर, आर यू हिअरिंग माय साऊंड?
आवाज येतोय, कमी येतोय आणि हे होतोय, इको होतोय.
इको होतोय का?
हा
आवाज नीट करा.
सर मला कोस्ट करा.
दादांचं को होस्ट काढून हे सुटणेकर सरांना को होस्ट करा.
दादांचा असू दे की, दादांना पण लागणार की.
ओके.
हा येस.
सर तुम्ही सुटणेकर सर तुम्ही कोणतं सिस्टम वापरताय? साऊंड वगैरे विथ मायक्रोफोन असणारा वेब कॅम आहे का कोणता आहे?
मी का?
हा
मी लॅपटॉपचा वापरतोय. लॅपटॉप स्पीकर.
मग लॅपटॉपचा स्पीकरला आवाज थोडा कमी येतो. जर तुम्ही हेडफोन वापरला का नाही किंवा साऊंड तर ते आवाज येते जास्त. आम्हाला इथे आवाज व्यवस्थित क्लिअर ऐकू येत आहे.
येतोय का?
हो. तुम्ही जर तिथं आता मी काय केलंय दादांच्या लॅपटॉपला स्पीकर जोडले छोटे. हा
नाही
जर केलं तर आवाज
नाही, आवाज येतोय की, म्हणजे आवाज येत नाही असं म्हणत नाही मी, आवाज येतोय पण थोडी लेवल अजून जरा कमी वाटते असं.
नाही आता फुल आवाज केलाय मी टोटल साऊंड.
दुसऱ्या ठिकाणचा बघू, दुसऱ्या कॅमेऱ्याचा बघू. मॅडम बोला, मॅडम बोला सांगा बघू.
करा इथनं आवाज जातो.
मॅडम
सर बोला. हा बोला.
इथनं आवाज ऐकू येतोय का?
हा येतोय आवाज, सगळ्या ठिकाणचा ऐकू येतो.
मी ऐकू येतोय का?
काळजी काय घ्यायला लागणार माहितीये का? ज्यावेळेला
संपूर्ण करायचं.
इनपुट
बरं मग त्याला स्पीकर काढूया.
मी काळजी घ्यायची अजिबात मी मारण्याची काळजी घ्यायची नाही काय करता मी मारलं ना नाही करता
आता ऐकू येते का?
येस.
आता आवाज लागला ते हे काढले व्यवस्थित ऐकू येतोय आवाज?
हा येतोय, आता येतोय. जरा अजून जरा कमीच आहे पण येतोय.
आणि स्क्रीनला उजेड येतोय का डार्कनेस येतोय? मी बसलोय तिथं.
स्क्रीन काय?
मी बसलोय ते स्क्रीन डार्कनेस येतोय का ब्राईटनेस आहे?
सगळे बोलतायत काय कळत नाही.
मी जिथं बसलोय ना इथं दादा बसणार आहेत.
हा
मग स्क्रीनला ब्राईटनेस ओके आहे का डार्कनेस येतोय अंधार? हॅलो,
एक मिनिट. हा बोला सर. आता
ब्राईटनेस स्क्रीनचा ओके आहे का?
आहे.
चेहरा व्यवस्थित
थोडं ब्ल्यूर वाटतंय. पिक्चर क्लिअर वाटत नाही परवा सारखं. निमट सर बसले परवा कसं वाटत होतं क्लिअर, थोडं क्लिअर नाही.
त्याला नाही ब्लर दिसते म्हणते का चेहरा? आता म्हणले की ती चेहरा तिथं जेवढा प्रभावी आहे तेवढा दिसत नाही इथं.
दिसतोय चेहरा, थोडा ब्लर वाटतोय किंचितसा.
बरं जरा आणि पडदा
बोलायचं ना व्हिडिओ आणि साऊंड म्यूट करून बोला.
फडणीस सर.
ते करतात
फडणीस सर.
हा
हे लोकांना कोणाला अलाव करू नका.
नाही केलेलं
नाही कोणतरी आलं की ॲग्रीन हॉटेल्स कोण आलं ते कसं काय? कुणी केला आला?
नाही ते दादा आहेत, यज्ञसेन दादा आहेत.
असं आहे का?
निम्मट सरांना.
बरोबर. मला काय माहित नाही, व्हिडिओ त्यांचा ऑन नाही त्यामुळे काय. पण ते जरा उशिरा करूया ऑन आपण, कारण ते आपला सगळा खेळ त्यांना दिसणार ना.
सध्या म्यूट केले, म्यूट करूया म्यूट.
म्यूट केले मी सगळ्यांना, फक्त तुमचं सुरू आहे. तुम्ही पंडित सर.
नाही म्यूट केलेलं नाही, म्यूट करायचं म्हणून.
नाही केले मी सगळ्यांना केले सर म्यूट.
नाही पीसीचं हे जरा ऍडजस्ट करतोय, ब्लर येते म्हणला ना तुम्ही जरा.
तुम्ही सर 2 मिनिटं बोला बघून.
Hello, good morning to all of you. Balasaheb Desai College, Patan and Microbiologist Society India jointly organized one-day national webinar on immunological aspect and COVID-19 with IQAC and Microbiology Department of our college.
Yes.
I am Dr. Prashant Fadnis, IQAC Coordinator. Would like to propose vote of thanks.
Yes.
Okay.
येते.
Okay.
ओके सर.
गुड सर. आता ओके.
आता दुसरं टेस्ट करा सर. हॅलो सर, प्राचार्यांचं चेक करा, प्राचार्यांचं.
प्राचार्यांचा चेक केलाय
कधी? आता एकदा करूया की.
चेक करूया. बरं.
हा ओके वाटतोय.
ओके आहे ना?
हा. प्राचार्यांचं, तुमचं आणि मॅडम कुठे बसणार आहेत ना, हे 3 पहिले टेस्ट करू.
मॅडम IQAC रूम मध्ये बसल्यात.
तुम्ही
आम्ही आता प्राचार्य केबिन मध्ये आहे.
हा.
आणि
प्राचार्य कुठे बसणार आहेत?
प्राचार्य त्यांच्या तिथे शेजारी टेबलवर बसणार आहेत.
मग ते जरा टेस्ट करूया की.
श्री गणेश जरा बोला तिथून.
मॅडमची स्क्रीन टेस्ट करूया का तोपर्यंत?
हॅलो
हा
सर, इथे काय आवाज असतो? हॅलो
कोण बोलतोय?
हॅलो सर, इथे काय आवाज?
नाही, आवाज एकदम.
हॅलो,
आवाज कट होतोय.
हॅलो 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 1 2 3. हॅलो हा सर, इथे काय आवाज? हॅलो हॅलो सर, इथे आवाज? हॅलो 1 2 3. हॅलो
सुपनेकर सर, आवाज येतोय? गुड मॉर्निंग. येतोय ना?
त्यांना मला वाटतं येत नाही आवाज तिथेपर्यंत.
त्यांना हेडफोन लावा म्हणून. हेडफोन लावा. फडणीस सर, दोन्ही ऑफिस मधले जे आहेत की नाही, दोन्ही थोडे वेळ म्यूटच ठेवा. जेव्हा प्राचार्य बोलणार आहे तेव्हाच तो ऑन करायचं. आणि प्राचार्य बोलताना दादांचा म्यूटच ठेवायचा. दादा बोलताना प्राचार्यांचा म्यूट कंपल्सरी राहायला पाहिजे. हॅमिंग खूप होते नाही तर. ओके
मॅडम, तुम्ही कुठल्या मशीनला आहे?
IQAC.
नाव काय आहे त्याचं?
कॉलेजचा लोगो आहे.
प्रशांत फडणीस का?
नाही, कॉलेजचा लोगो. हा, प्रशांत फडणीस. येस.
हा, तुमचा आवाज क्लिअर आहे मॅडम.
काय होते, केबिन मध्ये 2 लावलेत ना आपण, त्यामुळे ते कंपल्सरी म्यूट कर ठेवला पाहिजे, एक चालू असताना दुसरं. तुमचा
व्हिडिओ लावा बघू, तुमचा चेहरा हे करा बघू, तुमचा कॅमेरा.
ओके. गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
हा आहे, ओके आहे तुमचा आवाज आहे आणि क्लॅरिटी पण चांगली आहे.
जरा एकदा टेस्ट ऐका, 1-2 ओळी फक्त. फक्त कुठं दिसतंय बघा. गुड मॉर्निंग लेडीज अँड जेंटलमन. इट्स माय प्लेजर टू इंट्रोड्यूस मी. I am Dr. Manisha Sabkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Balasaheb Desai College, Patan. Behalf of Balasaheb Desai College, Patan, and as a coordinator of today's program, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all. येतोय आवाज सर? सांगा.
हो, अगदी क्लिअर आहे. कॅमेरा पण व्यवस्थित आहे, त्याला हलवाहलवी करू नका.
मी खाली वाचतेय, ते वाचलं तरी काय असं वाटत नाही ना, चष्म्यात दिसत नाही ते.
असं शकतं काय ते थोडं दिसतंय की वाचताना दिसणार.
आता
त्याला काय करायचं त्याला काय करायचं माहिती का मॅडम,
थोडं
स्क्रीनवर आहे ना. हॅलो,
हा
ते
बोला.
खरं स्क्रीनवर असतं ना, म्हणजे समोर बघितलं दिसलं असतं ते कॅमेराकडे. कागदाच्या ऐवजी जर स्क्रीनवर असतं ना, स्क्रीनवर बघून वाचलं ना काय कळत नाही.
बरं, असं मी थोडंसं लांबून वाचलं तर कसं वाटतं बघा. गुड मॉर्निंग लेडीज अँड जेंटलमन, इट्स माय प्लेजर टू इंट्रोड्यूस मी. आता
नाही ते काय दोन्हीमध्ये तुम्ही वाचताय कागदात बघून कळतच की, त्यात काय एवढे विषय नाही. ठीक आहे, पण एवढं काय वाईट नाही, चांगलं दिसतंय.
बरं,
मॅडम.
ओके, बोला सर, बोला सर.
हॅलो.
हा बोला सर. फडणीस सर
व्हाईट
बोला.
स्क्रीन बॅकग्राऊंडला असल्यामुळे तुमचा व्हिडिओ फार चांगला दिसतोय स्क्रीन आणि
बरं. पण आता ऑफिस मध्ये स्ट्रिक्टली फक्त 2च पॉइंट राहतील. बाकीचे येणारे जाणाऱ्यांचे मोबाईल जरी आले ना हातातले तरी हॅमरिंग होणार आहे. बाकीचे येणाऱ्या जाणाऱ्यांचे मोबाईल.
हॅलो. हॅलो, ऐकू येते का सबका मॅडम? हॅलो.
येतोय अगदी.
हा, आता येतोय ऐकू. तेच म्हणलो, व्हाईट स्क्रीन बॅकग्राऊंडला असल्यामुळं हे चांगलं दिसते म्हणलो तुमचं.
चांगला दिसतोय. हो,
हा, चांगला दिसतोय.
फडणीस सर.
हा बोला.
तुम्ही आता हेडफोन वापरलाय का?
हो, हेडफोन वापरलाय.
काय होतंय,
आता आवाज हेडफोन जरा आवाज चांगला येतो. अजून जरा वर धरा हेडफोनची हे आहे ना.
बर,
साऊंड हे होतो.
2 मिनिटं बोलतो.
आवाज चांगला
क्लिअर ऐकू येते का बघा. 2 मिनिटं बोलतो. बाळासाहेब देसाई कॉलेज पाटण, मायक्रोबायोलॉजिस्ट सोसायटी इंडिया jointly organized one-day national webinar on immunological aspect and COVID-19 with the help of IQAC and microbiology department of our college. I am Dr. Prashant Patnis, IQAC coordinator. Would like to propose vote of thanks. ऐकू आला?
हो, येस.
क्लॅरिटी
आहे.
ओके. थँक्यू.
प्राचार्यांचं ना बघूया.
प्राचार्यांचं चालू करू, ट्रायल घेऊया. थांबा.
हॅलो निवड सर.
नाही सर, दिसतं की सर, भरणा बोला सांगा.
तर तिथे सांगा की, कारण मोबाईल चालू ठेवणार, मोबाईलवर कनेक्टेड असणार युट्यूबवर आणि ऑफिसमध्ये येतील. आणि एक पीसी चालू असताना दुसरा कंपल्सरी मुठच ठेवायला पाहिजे. आवाज येते. हा बरं. हा, म्हणजे बाकीचे आवाज येणार नाही. आपल्याकडे अजून एक हेडफोन आहे, प्राचार्यांना पाहिजे असेल तर. पण ते मग आवाज खूप येतात केबिन मध्ये.
फडणीस सर.
हा, वर सांगायचं का ठोके जरा थांबवून?
फडणीस सर, पवार सरांचा अनमुट आहे.
वर सांगायला येईल का हेडफोन? हे ठोकेचं काय नाही सांगता येणार. फार जोरात आवाज येते.
यायला लागलं सर. हॅलो.
आता बोला.
जरा सांगायचं. दादा नमस्ते. आलेत दादा, इथंच आलेत. इथंच आलेत IQAC मध्ये. प्राचार्यांना बोलतो.
हा सर बोला.
आले सर, मी दादांबरोबर केली आहे केबिन मध्ये सर. इथं मग ते हे होतं, 2 एका ठिकाणी आले आणि साऊंड एकदम.
हॅलो.
हा बोला सर.
गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू. हॅलो, हाउ आर यू?
हा सर बोला सर.
ऑनरेबल श्रीमंत अमरसिंहजी पाटणकर, जनरल सेक्रेटरी ऑफ कोयना एज्युकेशन सोसायटी पाटण, प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द नॅशनल वेबिनार, कीनोट addresser Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, President Microbiologist Society India, resource person of webinar, Dr. Sanjeev D. Patankar, former principal Shivaprasad Sadanand Jaiswal College, Morgaon District, Gondia, Gymkhana Vice President Dr. Coordinator Dr. M.R. Sanpal, IQC Coordinator Dr. P.Y. Phadnis, my staff and all delegates, students, friends, I welcome one and all on this national event.
येतोय सर, येतोय आवाज येतोय. फक्त जरा वाढवता आला बघा थोडा येतोय पण
हे चेहरा कसा बरोबर येतो का दिसते का वरच
आवाज व्यवस्थित येतोय क्लिअर आहे
चेहरा म्हणते
दिसतोय चेहरा बरोबर आहे थोडं मागं सांगा थोडं
माईकचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे हे जरा हे वर केलं पाहिजे असं
हॅलो सर नाही
आहे का बरोबर आता
तुम्ही जर मागं सारखा माग बघू हा ओके सर वर यायला पाहिजे
नमस्कार
जरा थोडं केस हे जाते वर
राम मंदिरला रामाची मूर्ती आम्हाला एक मी मला सुरुवात बोलला मला नाही ना पण मला दाखवा पाहुणे बोलवा की जरा
एक मिनिट का असं नाही बाहेर नाही ऐकू
त्याला हे लावल्यावर येणार नाही बाहेर ऐकू हेडफोन
लावले तर नाही लावले तर बाहेर नाही करू
हॅलो
आवाज
सुपनेकर
क्लिअर
सर
दादांचा आवाज क्लिअर आहे
सुपनेकर सर
हा
सुप्रेकर सर गुड मॉर्निंग
गुड मॉर्निंग सर
दिस इज अमर सिंह पाटणकर स्पीकिंग विथ यू आर यू
Yes,
फ्री
sir.
सर
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are there online now. Okay. बाकी काही नाही दिसले म्हणून हा ते केले
नाही आवाज क्लिअर आहे दादांचा आवाज क्लिअर आहे काय गरज नाही त्याची
ते बंद करून टाक माझा
पहिल्या मॅडम बोलणार त्यानंतर मी आणि मोबाईल संपा मॅडम त्यानंतर मी मग तुम्हीच आणि मग पाहुणे बोलणार
मला कितीला येणार आहे
11:15 हा 11:15 तुम्ही सुरू करणार
तुम्ही 35 मिनिटाचा
नाही मी 5 मिनिटं 5 मिनिटं पण नाही
किती लांबवायचा पाऊस पिकं वाढायला लागली
होय काल आता आपण बघून आलो
काम करायचंय म्हणून पाणी खाली गळते काय
वर पाणी साठले ना
कोरडं करून यायला काय ते कोरडं करून घेतलं
घेतलं होतं मध्ये, ते आता तिकडे जास्त ट्रिप करायला लागली तरी बरंचसं कमी आले. म्हणजे इथं सुद्धा डोक्यातच पाणी पडत होतं. पण आता बाहेर काढूया तसं काढूया बाहेर, पण ती परत आत येणार ना. पत्रा बसल्यावर, हा पत्रा बसल्यावर
तिकडे वेगळे ते त्या ह्याच्यामुळे आम्ही बाहेरचा गिलावा केला ना, त्याच्यामुळे पाणी ती कोणी आहे का रे? नाही काटे सर. ते हे आहे का नाही, इथं पाणी तुमच्या शंकराच्या डोक्यावर पडतंय तसं वरचं पाणी आहे का नाही, ते समजा जर किलतान टाकून हे करून पिळून काढलं असतं सगळं किंवा काय केलं असतं तर होईल ना तेवढं. त्याचं त्यात महिनाभर टिकल तसं पाणी. आता काय बाजूला मारत नाही किंवा काय नाही, पूर्वी मारत म्हणून इकडनं इकडं पाणी जात नाही. तुम्ही वरती जाऊन बघून आला तर कळेल तुम्हाला. त्यात वरती जाऊन बघून आलो इकडचं पाणी गिरत असते. हा एक 2-4 दिवसात होणार आहे. आपण एक वार राहिला आमच्याला आज शुक्रवार. हा उद्याच करून घ्यायचं ना, करून नाही का त्याच्यात नुसतं पाणी बाजूला जाऊन चालणार नाही, भिंतीत पूर्ण ते पडतच राहणार आहे काही काय.
झालं कुठे
कोविड पूर्ण झाले की आमच्याकडे हो येणार आहे. आम्हाला एक सांगायचं डिपार्टमेंट कॉमन स्टाफ रूम वगैरे अशी असतील. कॉमन स्टाफ रूम तुम्ही आता समजा तुमचे कोण अधिकारी आले, काय आले, संस्थापक अधिकारी आले, कोणी आले, त्यांना तुमच्या स्टाफच्या बरोबर बोलायचं म्हणजे काय करतात
आता जागा कधी सगळं स्टेप
काय सेशन चेअर्ड बाय आय एम नॉट द चेअरपर्सन ना, मी काय
हॅलो, अच्छा लागणार ठीक आहे.
to be present म्हणता येईल. Again, international. To be present. Oh, नको राहू द्या. Sir. To be present. हॉल आहे हा हॉल आहे तर ह्या हॉल मध्ये कुठला वरचा मोठा
याला एजीएम ला काय केले दादा, प्रिन्सिपलची केबिन आहे, त्याला जे 40 ते 50 लोक ऍट अ टाइम मिटिंगला बसतील अशा स्वरूपाची सिच्युएशन. बोललो
फोन लागत नाही का?
करायचं
नाही लागला नाही. इंटरनॅशनल क्वालिटी अश्युरन्स सेल्स डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मायक्रोबायोलॉजी. अजून त्यांनी स्क्रीन सेट करायची आहे. 11 वाजता करतील.
बरोबर.
आता हे सर ओळखतात तुम्हाला. बरोबर. तुमचा
नाही.
चेहरा इथं दिसायला पाहिजे.
हो, हो.
ह्या ब्लॉक मध्ये दिसायला पाहिजे.
बघूया.
बाकी काही नाही.
डिस्कनेक्ट ऑडिओ. हा डिस्कनेक्ट केलाय आता.
जर तुम्हाला आवाज नाही आला तर इथं जायचं.
म्यूट केले.
म्यूट. हा म्यूट.
इथं वाढवायचं असतं ना, हे करताना आम्ही वाढवतो.
नाही हे छोटा आहे ना स्क्रीन, त्यामुळे काही कळत नाही.
आता दिसते सांग.
नॅशनल वेबिनार आहे.
कॉलेजमध्ये आमच्या
हा भाग दिसला पाहिजे बाबा. हा इथून वरचा दिसला पाहिजे.
दिसला पाहिजे ना.
दुसरं काहीतरी सेटिंग चेंज करायचं नाही. आता अजून त्यांचं चालू आहे.
अजून चालू व्हायचंय.
एवढे चालू आहेत बघा. एवढी लोक येणार आहेत. अरे बाबा भरपूर आहेत लोक.
खूप लोक आहेत. नाही पहिले 50 घ्यायचे.
जयवंत यादव पण चालू आहे.
हॅलो हॅलो हॅलो.
सुपुकडे सर काकांचं तिथं बघा जरा लाईटचे ऍडजस्टमेंट सांगा त्यांना.
हो सांगितलंय. फक्त काकांचा आवाज येणार आहे. त्यांनी म्यूट केलाय.
हॅलो हॅलो हॅलो. सुपुकडे सर आवाज येतोय? हॅलो. तुमचे अनम्यूट करून ठेवा. तुमचे म्यूट करून ठेवा सर. फडणीस सरांचा सुद्धा.
फडणीस सरांचं म्यूट करा म्हणतात.
नाही आहे म्यूट आहे.
वरच्या स्क्रीनला नाव दिलं IQC ला. वरनं सांगून घेतलं. बरोबर. ठीक आहे होते ना. मग माझा फोकसिंग करा.
किती 6 महिने किती हप्ते?
35,000 पण देऊ शकतो.
नाही आता प्राइस कुठलं प्रो मॅक्स
दिलेलं आहे का?
18लाच घ्यायचं. किती पण सांगू.
2 मीटर काढतो.
दिसतंय. म्यूट केलाय तुमचा. तुम्ही दिसत नाही व्यवस्थित. चेहऱ्यावरती उजेड पाहिजे. हॅलो.
आणि साऊंड हे करा, अनम्यूट करा.
नाही उजेड झालं चेहऱ्यावर. लाईट लावली का? हा आता जर लाईट परत लावली पाहिजे.
ते ओके दिसतो म्हणजे एवढा चेहरा योग्य आहे.
होय होय.
त्याची स्क्रीन शेअर मुळे आता ती लगेच शेअर होत आहे.
आणि संतोष आहे का पाठीमागं वगैरे असल्यामुळे पडदा तो बंद करा. पाठीमागं वगैरे नको, चेहऱ्यावर वगैरे पाहिजे. हा चेहऱ्यावर वगैरे पाहिजे. पडदा लावा. एक मिनिट. पाठीमागचं आहे का नाही पडदा तो अजून वडा. पाठीमागचा पडदा आहे का नाही पूर्ण बंद करा आणि लाईट लावा त्या. हा वर लाईट लावा आणि पाठीमागचा पडदा पूर्ण वळून. पाठीमागचा पडदा पूर्ण वळून.
हा का ओके झाले. फक्त थोडंसं चेक मोबाईल खाली खाली जरा हा 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 दिसले आता तुम्ही पण ते जर थोडंसं अजून मोबाईल
पन्नास एक व्यक्तीने तयार करून ठेवलं.
अच्छा.
चालेल चालेल.
आता इथे 30 आहे, लॅपटॉपला 20 आहे. जसं असेल तसं लोड करून द्यायचं. जास्त
वेळ होईल. स्पीकर वर लावायला पाहिजे काय?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure welcome to introduce. I'm Dr. Manisha Sabkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Balasaheb Desai College, Patan. Behalf of Balasaheb Desai College, Patan, and as a coordinator of today's program, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this national webinar on immunological aspects and COVID-19, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell and Department of Microbiology, Balasaheb Desai College, Patan, in collaboration with Microbiology Society India. Today, we have connected with us Honorable Dr. Sopandrao Chauhan, Chairman, Koina Education Society, Patan, Honorable Sriman Amar Sinhaji Patankar, General Secretary, Koina Education Society, Patan, Honorable Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, Chairman, Microbiology Society, India, today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Sanjeev Patankar, former principal, Jaiswal College, Nagpur, our principal, Dr. S.D. Pawar, Gymkhana Vice President, Dr. C. Umane, IQC Coordinator, Dr. P.Y. Fadnis, all my fellow colleagues and enthusiastic, beloved participants from all over the country. Again, a warm welcome to one and all. Let us start this session with our traditional lamp lighting ceremony and a prayer song.
कृत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् संपदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With this auspicious start and divine blessing, now I would like to focus on the theme of webinar and our institute. Balasaheb Desai College, Patan is established in 1969. It has been imparting quality education from the last 50 years to the students from rural area to face real world challenges and foster the students for global competencies. It's proud to share that our college successfully runs 24 different skill-based courses for our students, specially designed by considering the regional needs. These courses add new skills to our graduates. Our esteemed institution marching towards excellence and our management team of Koina Education Society put their tremendous efforts to bring glory to our institution. They are Honorable Dr. Sopandrao Chauhan, Chairman, Koina Education Society, Honorable Amar Sinhaji Patankar, General Secretary, Koina Education Society, Honorable Shri Prakash Bhau Patil, Vice Chairman, Koina Education Society, Honorable Yadnasinhaji Patankar, Member, Honorable Sanjeev Chauhan, Member, and all the members of management. In the view of emerging situation of COVID-19 pandemic, it is important to safeguard our community. At the same time, it is very crucial to ensure our academic credibility and future progress. In this connection, Balasaheb Desai College, Patan can proudly say that we are successfully conducting enrichment programs such as webinar series, faculty development programs, and COVID awareness program since from June 2020. As a part of this, Department of Microbiology, in association with world famous society, namely Microbiology Society India, take honor in conducting this national webinar on immunological aspects and COVID-19. I feel very happy to announce that more than 500 participants have registered for webinar across the country in very short notice. These are doctors, researchers, professors, associate professors, assistant professors, students, participants from different places of country like Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Gujarat, and many more. Though we arrange webinar on national level, I am proud to say that one of our participants is connected with us from Indonesia. It's overwhelming to receive the huge response from you all. I would like to welcome all the participants who show great enthusiasm in participation of this webinar. I take this opportunity to extend my warm welcome to the today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Sanjeev Patankar, former principal, Jaiswal College, Nagpur. Objective of selecting this topic for the webinar is by considering importance of the term immunity in this pandemic period. In the wake up of COVID-19 outbreak, entire mankind across the globe is suffering. Many of the researchers, pharmacologists, microbiologists are engaged in searching foolproof therapeutic drug against the coronavirus and a vaccine against COVID-19. Yet, we have not got 100% success. But it is true that enhancing our body's natural defense system, that is immunity, maintaining optimum health. We all know that prevention is better than cure. While there is no medicine for COVID 19, as of now, it will be good to take preventive measure which boost our immunity in these days. Today's speaker, today's speaker, Dr. Sanju Patankar, will explain in detail about the nutritional immunity and its role in different infections. Before we start our session, I request our principal, Dr. S.D. Pawar, to welcome the gathering.
बंद करें
Over to Dr. S.D. Pawar, sir.
नहीं बंद ना पड़ते
Sir, please. Over to Dr. S.D. Pawar.
Hello. Hello. Good morning to all of you. Honorable Srimant Amarsiya Patankar, General Secretary of Koina Education Society Patan, President of the National Webinar, our President Honorable Dr. S.H. Tawan Sir, Keynote Addresser Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, President Microbiologist Society India, Resource Person of Webinar Dr. Sanjeev Patankar, former Principal Shivaprasad Sadanand Jaiswal College, Morgaon, Gymkhana Vice President Dr. C.U. Mane, Webinar Coordinator Dr. Yamar Sapkar, IQC Coordinator Dr. P.Y. Fadnis, my staff and all the delegates, students, friends, I welcome one and all on this national event. Bahasaheb Desai College was established on 5th June 1969 by Koina Education Society, Patan, for imparting higher education to the students of Patan Tehsil. Initially, the founder member of Koina Education Society worked hard to create awareness of education among the people. Today, our college is imparting student-centric quality education to arts, science, commerce, and BCA students right from 11th standard to post-graduation. We are committed to enlighten their lives by providing opportunities of education for their all-round progress. It gives me a great pleasure to inform that our college has become success in obtaining ISO ranking. Every year, many of our students, 12th class, get through the examination with distinction, obtaining an honorable place in the board merit list. I am also very proud to inform you that 12 students of senior college have found a place in the university merit list 2018-19. Our college is always strongly supported and blessed by the Orchestra of Patan region, Honorable Vikram Singh Ji Patankar, office bearers of Koina Education Society Patan, President Honorable Sopan Rauji Chavan, General Secretary Honorable Ji Amar Singh Ji Patankar, Vice President Prakash Bhau Patil, and Joint Secretary Honorable Bahasaheb Patil, Honorable Yadnyasenji Patankar, Honorable Sanjeevji Chavan. Today, the entire globe is going through a critical situation because of the outbreak of coronavirus, which several effects of education system and obviously trade is going toward us online teaching, learning process. Keeping the view in mind, we have organized an online national webinar on immunological aspect of COVID-19. I convey my best compliments to the program. I hope that the deliberations in the webinar will become fruitful and useful for the society. I wish you all a great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's my privilege to invite our General Secretary, Koina Education Society Partner, a renowned personality, an able administrator, a sculpture of human character, and a social activist, Srimant Amarsinhji Patankar, for inaugural address. Over to Honorable Amarsingh Patankar.
Good morning, everybody. I deem it a high honor and a great privilege to be present at this national event, which is graced by Dr. Sanjeev Patankar, a learned resource. Learned resource person from Nagpur University, and Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, President, Microbiology Society, India, Principal, and all the delegates from different corners of country. On behalf of Koina Education Society, Patan, I welcome you all to the webinar. At the outset, I would like to give a brief account of our society, which was founded on 8 December 1967 with a motto, Jnana Dipena Bhaswataha. Unfortunately, a massive earthquake rocked Konkan and the western Maharashtra on 11 December 1967. We did not give up hope, and we slowly started running schools. To commemorate the foundation day of our society, we celebrated Golden Jubilee to highlight the success story of 50 years of our journey in 2019. To this day, we have been running one primary school, one girls' high school, 20 high schools, 5 junior colleges, and 2 senior colleges. To cater to the need of stakeholders who live in hilly, backward, and earthquake-prone area. Koina Education Society Patan is well known for providing quality education to the students. Our college has produced one vice chancellor, a number of doctors, lawyers, professors, teachers, and worthy citizens. B.D. College, which was established to impart basic university education, is now running postgraduate departments, which are trying hard to impart state-of-art education to the researchers. More than 2,300 students are studying in college. Till this day, the world has experienced and survived the Great Plague of Marchley in 1720 to 1723, the cholera pandemic from 1817 to 1824, Spanish flu known as the 1918 flu pandemic was an unusual deadly influenza, a virus which lasted from February 1918 to April 1920. COVID-19 pandemic is threatening the humanity at present. The IQAC and the Department of Microbiology decided to organize a national webinar on immunological aspects and COVID-19. All the nations, even our central and the state governments are taking necessary steps to save our mankind and our planet Earth. India has a glorious past from the 4th century BC to the 6th or 7th century AD. Science flowered under the Maurya, Shaka, Kushana, and Gupta empires. There were renowned universities at Nalanda, Banaras, and Takshashila. Now in Pakistan, outstanding contributions were made to mathematics, astronomy, astrology, and medical science. The invasion of Mughals, Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, and finally the British caused irreparable damages, and the Indians forgot their glorious past. We are proud of Susutra, the first surgeon who performed operation on nose some 26 centuries ago. Sarkar was a physician. Kannada believed that everything is made of Parmanu. Patanjali came forward to find solution to several elements, mental and physical. Aryabhatta and Virhamihir were interested in astronomy and astrology. We all know that prevention is better than cure. There is no medicine for COVID-19 till this day. To put in the words of C.R. Reddy, prevention, cure, relief, elevation, all these degrees and variations of healing touch, and consoling contact become more effective when they are scientifically organized and put on a firm institutional basis. He adds, but in an emergency, the staff of governments and organized institutions would not be enough. Here is that missionary spirit of voluntary workers which becomes necessary. Taking the present pandemic threat into consideration, our microbiology department has organized this webinar. You will learn more about immunity in preventing coronavirus infection. The webinar will be a great success. I hope the scientists will make vaccine which will be elixir of life. I offer my good wishes and to the organizers for their efforts. Thanking you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this function and being with us. Now, I would like to introduce today's keynote addresser, a man behind the curtain of Microbiology Society India. From last few months, under the leadership of Sir, our Microbiology Society works on different levels of pandemic. Our few member researchers are engaged in vaccine production. Few are working in COVID testing labs, and some are working as a COVID Yodha. I am proud gives expert guidance to the Prime Minister and Chief Minister's Department in concern with the lockdown. All this is under the leadership of Dr. A.M. Deshmukh, sir. Dr. A.M. Deshmukh is the former professor and head Department of Microbiology, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Subcenter, Usmanabad. He has 37 years of experience. He worked as a chairman of Board of Studies in Microbiology at Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, member of BOS, RRS, PUTR, and environmental committees of many universities and government bodies. Under his able guidance, 17 students successfully completed their PhD degree. He successfully completed one major and two minor research projects funded by UGC. He published more than 82 research papers in different international journals with the high impact factor. He wrote 4 different books and edited plus 7 books. He is a chief editor of Journal of Microbial World. He worked as a resource person in more than 114 national and international conferences. He delivered radio talks regarding biofertilizers, biopesticides, pure water, vermicompost, environmental pollution, and also wrote articles in newspaper. He visited 20 plus countries in the capacity of invited speaker and a guest of honor such as Japan, USA, China, Germany, France, Nepal, Bangladesh, Thailand, Indonesia, Dubai, Singapore, Mauritius, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and many more. He organized more than 10 plus international conferences in India as well as abroad. He is conducting virtual classes in microbiology from last few years and thousands of students are taking benefit of it. His area of interest are nanotechnology, biotechnology, solutions, e-solutions for e-waste, biodiversity of actinomycetes, biogas, and dye reduction. Such a great personality is connected online with us for today's inaugural function. It's my honor to invite Dr. Deshmukh sir, President, Microbiology Society India, to express keynote address. Over to Dr. Deshmukh sir. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Manisha Sangpal, for introducing me. I'm very happy today. Again, let me tell you all that this college is from Satara district and I worked for 27 years in Satara district, Karan. Dr. Manisha is my PhD student. How I'm closely associated with this college and many peoples in this college. The chairman of this college, Honorable Chauhan sir, we worked together when he was serving in Shivaji University, Kolhapur, in many meetings. So let me tell you at the outset, whenever I meet Chauhan sir, one proverb, I remember it, the activeness, youngness do not depend on the age, it depends on the mind. So Honorable Chauhan sir, I congratulate you first. I thanks you for giving an opportunity to microbiology department for arranging such a good event. I am also thankful to Patankar sir and principal of the college for creating good environment for organizing such a beautiful event. Probably I assume that it is the first event of the college online and you are getting a very huge response. Many students and teachers, actually all are students, because I still consider that I am a student of microbiology subject. The knowledge never ends. So all attending participants are students of the life science from different corners of India. They are attending today's seminar. The topic of the seminar is a very, very interesting. Meaning is that everyone is talking about the COVID-19 and COVID-19. Now, it is not a new calamity. The human being already faced such calamity. I am always giving example of the warrior from Maharashtra, the late Savitribai Phule. She died because there was a pandemic of plague. She was knowing that I may die, but she helped the patients of the plague disease. So always I am making an appeal to everyone. This is a good attempt to arrange a seminar and creating awareness among the teachers, among the society. And I am requesting everyone to help every patient, assuming means remembering Savitribai Phule. So what I request, today's topic, you see, I request every attendee, every participant. Today's topic is a very, very interesting topic. Listen it carefully. Because whenever we are talking about the COVID-19, the majority of the people or the new word is talking about the allopathy only. we are talking about the the hydroxychloroquine or remdesivir or many allopathic drug. We are talking about the vaccine, but we have neglected Ayurveda, as Honorable Patankar sir has rightly told in his lecture that what is the history of India? The Indian history, if we remember the Indian history, like Takshashila University and many other universities, the Ayurveda was very well developed. But still in India, we are neglecting. We must focus homeopathy. We must focus Ayurveda. And we must focus on increasing natural immunity, which is hidden within us. We are talking about the medicine, but we are not talking about the precautions to be taken to avoid the coronavirus. So today is a very good attempt. I know Dr. Patankar is an authority on the role of nutrition, role of diet in increasing the immunity of human. So definitely this is the time, instead of talking about the drugs, cure, we should prevent the disease. And how we can prevent the disease? They are very simple. You see, I have delivered many talks and uploaded on YouTube. Every time I'm talking that in the Western country, the people are white skin, deficient in vitamin D. In India, we are rich in vitamin D. Probably it is a boon. So the death rate in India is a very, very low as compared with the Western countries, as compared with Italy, as compared with the USA. Now, we should think far ahead. That is, we should reduce still the death rate in India. Is it possible? Yes, by the management of the Ayurveda, consuming the Ayurvedic drug, consuming the homeopathic drug. Then Unani also plays a very important role. They have done a miracle in Malegaon. And the role of nutrition in our diet is definitely helpful, definitely useful in preventing the disease, preventing this calamity. So again, I congratulate Dr. Manisha for arranging such a beautiful event and getting a huge response throughout the country. And I thanks the management people, honorable principal, for supporting such event. As a president of Microbiology Society, again, I would like to tell all participants attending this seminar, go and visit to www.microbiosociety. Very simple website, microbiosociety.org. You will get the all information. You can join your hands with the Microbiology Society in the future. Thank you very much, Dr. Manisha. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving insight in this matter of immunity. Now the time came for which we are waiting. The talk of today's eminent resource person. Before that, I would like to give brief introduction of our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sanjeev Patankar. Professor Sanjeev Patankar from Nagpur. He received his PhD degree from Nagpur University. He worked as a senior faculty member in the Department of Microbiology at Guru Nanak College of Science, Ballarpur, District Chandrapur. After that, he worked as a principal at Jaiswal College, Arjuni, Gondia, Maharashtra. between 2014 to 2019. He worked as an academic council member and a member of Board of Studies Microbiology and Biotechnology at Nagpur University and Gondwana University. He worked as a chapter president at Ballarpur Wood City, JC. Currently, he nominated as Maharashtra State Coordinator under the auspices of Microbiology Society India. By virtue of his scientific achievement, he completed two major research projects funded by DST, two minor research projects funded by UGC, and more than 20 research papers published in high impact factor journal. His area of interest is microbiological physiology, microbial metabolism, fermentation technology, enzymology, and food safety. There are many remarkable innovations on his name, such as isolation and nomenclature of different isolates, namely Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Bacillus thuringiensis, Leuconostoc mesenteroid, having industrial potential. He successfully deposited these strains to the International Culture Collection Centers at United Kingdom and National Chemical Laboratory, Pune. With this, I request today's distinguished speaker, Dr. Sanjeev Patankar, to express his topic in nutritional immunity and different infections. Over to Dr. Sanjeev Patankar.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. I am audible?
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
I am first of all thankful to my lucid introduction and today's chairman of this session, Dr. Sopan Raoji Chauhan, then Honorable Amar Singh Ji Patankar, General Secretary of Koina Education Society, Dr. Pawar, Principal of the Balasaheb Desai College, Patan, Dr. A.M. Deshmukh Sir, President Microbiology Society India, and other members of Koina Education Society, IQAC Coordinator and organizer of this webinar, Dr. Manisha Sapkar Madam. Again, good morning to all of you. I am very much thankful to college management, principal and Sapkar Madam for inviting me for this particular type of the webinar. So without wasting much more time, we are starting with what the today's topic. So
Yes, yes.
So, madam, is it screen is shared?
Chair, please make slide show.
Is it visible, my slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your slides are visible, but make slide show. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Your
Slide
slides
show?
are visible. Okay, 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 sir.
Oh.
You can proceed, sir.
Yeah.
Please.
So, in today's webinar, my topic is on nutritional immunology and its possible role in COVID-19 like infections. In the different speakers they have spoke, and they give the different type of the thoughts regarding our traditional medicine, and then how the Ayurveda and other things they can also give certain type of what the prevention. Now today's state as such of the COVID-19 like infection, it is that it was rightly pointed out by Dr. A.M. Deshmukh sir that we are talking about only about the different type of the drug, then hydroxy, then HCQ, and apart from that the development of the vaccine. But we are not talking that how to prevent the infection. The prevention is better than cure, and always it is given that your diet, it will decide your health. So what you eat, accordingly your health will be there. So our nutrition, it is very, very important, and that's why we are looking for what are the nutritional aspects that can play an important role in the possible prevention of the COVID-19 like infections. So the nutrition, what is the nutrition exactly, and what does it do, what are the functions as such? So nutrition, or the nourishment, or the element that is there, it refers to what? It refers to the nurturing of our body, so that it will keep our health proper and functioning. So when we go for the nutrition, naturally nutrition come from the food, and nature has provided what? The variety of foods, because as the as the area change, as the geography change, as the habitat change, the climate also change, and accordingly the available type of the food that also go on changing. The form go on changing, but the basic nutrients, that is what the macronutrients and the micronutrient, they are present in all type of the foods. So foods are changing, but basically the type of the macronutrients and micronutrients which we need, they remain unchanged, because they are required by all type of the individuals, all type of the species which are present on the earth planet. Because all of you know, there are basic requirements of the nutrition as such by all type of the living things, and it contain broadly speaking, it is the macronutrient, that is what the protein, or the nitrogen sources, carbon sources, and then the other types, that is what the micronutrients. So our aim is what? Our aim is to have all these micronutrients as such from our daily consumption of the food. But the pattern of food go on changing. So whatever we consume the food, it will give it must give the maintenance of health, growth, and in general it must develop it must develop the resistance against against the different type of infections. So it is not simply the growth of an individual, but it also require protection from the infection. So the protection from infection also depend on it also depend on your nutrition. The nutrition as a science, it was found by Lavoisier, the father of chemistry, all of you know, and he also became the father of nutrition towards the end of the 18th century. So science of nutrition is one of the youngest of all sciences. Now, what is the relation between nutrition and health? So whenever we talk about the health, now health, when we say about the health, the definition of health which is given by World Health Organization, it includes it is the state of complete mental and social well-being, and not merely the absence of the absence of disease or infirmity. So this is the definition it is given by World Health Organization. But when we say the complete well-being of the mental and social status, so it include there are different levels of our life, and it starts from your genetic level, because whatever is the thing, whatever our life is going on, the basis of that, it is the genetic potential. So for full expression of genetic potential, also the nutrition is required. Nutrition, all of you know, the synthesis of DNA and the other things, it depend on the variety of enzymatic reactions, and they need the different type of the coenzymes, and these coenzymes are nothing but they are derived from the vitamins, that is our nutrients. So the genetic potential must also be expressed in a full way. So for that also the nutrition is necessary. Then maintenance of structural immunity, structural integrity, then the functional efficiency of the tissues, it is necessary. So we become active, and it will give the productive thing as such. So for productive use and for the activity, we need the maintenance of body tissues. Then mental well-being, it is also required. And then mental well-being, the nerve cells and other things also, they are the fast metabolizing and requiring the ATP, highest ATP requiring cell in our body. So it needs what? It needs the nutrition. Now, in as we proceed, as we cross our life stages, then what happen? We go on the aging side. Aging starts, but what happen in that? During that aging, there are what? There are certain type of the there are certain type of the minimal, there are certain type of the disabilities, and this is an inevitable process. So we have to withstand with this aging process. So, and there must be the minimal disability in what? Minimal disability in our aging stage, so that the functional impairment will be less. And for that also, what we eat in the previous days, that is in our younger state, that helps us in giving what? In giving that particular type of what? That particular type of state. And then lastly, it comes the immunological aspect of the nutrition. That is what? Ability to combat a disease. Now, diseases, not only the infections. So that is what, when we talk about the resisting of infection, it gives what? It gives the concept of immunocompetence. Immunocompetence, it is also developed and it is dependent on the nutrition. Then apart from that, the degenerative diseases, they must be prevented. For that also the nutrition is important. And then nowadays we face different type of pollutants, environmental toxins. So resisting and protecting from such environmental toxins and pollutants, the good type of nutrition and better nutrition, it is required. So this is what? This is the relation between what? Between the nutrition and health. After that, we come to the immune system, because today we are interested how the nutrition, it helps or it influences the immune system. Now, all of you know that immune system, it is nothing but what? It is nothing but a biological, it is a system of what? System of biological structures. For example, you know the different organs like thymus, then the gut associated lymphoid tissue and all other things. These are the biological structures, and then there are processes. So combined together, the organs are the structures and processes that gives what? That gives the protection of individual against the diseases, and that is nothing but what? In toto, it is the immune system. In order to function properly, an immune system, the function of immune system is what? It is to first of all detect the foreign species like bacteria, virus, parasite. Then after that, the second thing is that the immune system must have ability to distinguish the foreign cell or the foreign protein and the individual protein, and then give the protection against what? Or to fight out what? Fight out that particular foreign species. So there are three functions which are given by immune system. First is the recognition of foreign body, differentiation from its own tissue, and then fighting against what? The foreign body. So immunity deals with the functioning of immune system and how it protects our body from harmful external influences. Now, as a whole, immunity we can classify in three parts, or we can say that the immunity, it works in three layers. The very first is the surface factors, different surfaces right from our skin, the epithelial cell, epithelial structures. Then other type, the inner surfaces like the lining of intestine and other thing. These are the surface factors. The surfaces must be strong enough to do not to prevent the entry of pathogens and other type of the other type of what? Other type of the foreign particles. So this is what the surface factor, it is the first line of defense. Then comes the innate immunity. The innate immunity, it is something like that. It is the inborn feature of the inborn feature or inborn power of resistance against the infection. Again, the innate immunity, it is of various type. All of you know that is the it is what? It is the species immunity, racial immunity, and then again the individual immunity. That is immunity, it varies from person to person because of what? Because of its general health status as such. And then the acquired immunity, it is the immunity which is acquired during the lifetime. So acquired immunity, it may be of two types, active and passive immunity, or it may be what? It may be again cell mediated immunity or the humoral immunity. So in all these cases, what is the role of nutrition? How the nutrition influences this? That is nothing but what? That is nothing but the nutritional immunity. Now, before that, the diet and immunity. Now, diet and immunity, that is diet, it is nothing but the food which we take every day. Adequate nutrition, it is vital for healthy immune system. Nutrient deficiencies and excess also can harm the immune system. So both are there. If you are nutritionally deficient and if you are getting the excess of nutrition, both are giving harmful effect on what? On the immune system. Innate immunity and acquired immunity, they are affected by malnutrition. Now this malnutrition is the great problem in India. It has been observed that the malnutrition, it is of various type. It is related to macronutrient, micronutrient deficiencies, and this malnutrition, it is not only related with the poor people, but it is also found to be present in the affluent families because of the different reasons. Some foods can stimulate the allergic reactions in susceptible people. So allergic reactions are also there, and they are also the immune reactions. So the nutritional immunology is a field of immunology that focuses on the study about the influence of nutrition on immune system and protective function. So that is nothing but what? That is nothing but the nutritional immunology. So here, now this is what? This is the network of interactions between what? Between the nutrition and immunity. How the nutrition influences immunity, and how the immunity, it will drive that which type of nutrition we should take. So this is what? This is a complex type of networking. Now suppose if we start with the host diet. So diet affects what? The diet affects the host nutritional state, immune status also, and it interact with what? It interact with the microbial symbionts, common cells, pathogens which are present in the gut. So microbial community which is present in the gut. Now it will give what? It will give the fitness of all the partners. Now what happen? The host nutrition state, it gives what? It gives the nutritional feedback and modulates what? Modulates the host diet behavior. So according to the host nutritional feedback, it gives what? It gives, or it modulates what? It modulates the diet behavior of the host. And then what happen? One particular type of microbial community or the gut flora, it has been established. So it gives what? It gives the optimization of microbial interaction, and it gives what? Increase in the resistance to the infection. So this is in general, or this is how the diet, nutritional state, immunological state, and then the gut microflora and the pathogens, they interact. So nowadays the gut microflora, it is of great importance. Gut microflora, it is determined according to your diet. What you eat, it will decide how is your gut microflora. If the gut microflora is better, it is a good type, then it will help you in developing the immune function. That's why your nutrition, it is very, very important. Your diet is also very important for what? For our fitness or the host fitness. So malnutrition. Now malnutrition, it is recognized as what? It is recognized that the malnutrition and malnutrition and infection, these are what? These are the two major obstacles for health, development, and survival worldwide. The poverty and ignorance are most significant contributing factors. So poverty and ignorance about what? About the nutrition, they add to what? They add to the malnutrition, and it worsens what? It worsens the condition. The infection and malnutrition aggravate each other. That is what? If infection occur, then there is a loss of appetite. There may be a consumption of our nutrient by the infecting agent, or malnutrition when it is there. You become more susceptible for the infection, and then both of them, they aggravate each other. In fact, the malnutrition is the commonest cause of immunodeficiency in worldwide. So this is the effect of malnutrition. There are many causes of increased susceptibility to infection among among the underprivileged and malnourished community. The lack of proteins, vitamins, minerals, In protein energy, malnutrition, it gives what? It changes, it gives the changes in what? The immunocompetence in cell-mediated immunity, the bactericidal action of neutrophils, complement system, and secretory immunoglobulin antibody A responses. So these are these are what? These are the various effects. How the malnutrition it affect what? It affect our immunity from all sides. Lack of health education, illiteracy, contaminated food and water, poor sanitation, and overcrowding are important in worsening the situation. Now, these are what? These are the factors. They are found to be present in what? In our country. Nowadays, generally, the overcrowding, it is what? It is a big issue in what? In the big cities. Now, overcrowding, for example, if we take the example of Mumbai, where the Dharavi is there, the overcrowding is the uncontrollable. And because of that, that may be the more contributing factor why the COVID-19 like infection that spread. So this is what, this is the, gives the worsening situation in the infections like what, like the COVID-19. And among that, the malnutrition is also there, lack of lack of sanitation, lack of proper food and water, it is also there. So it gives what? It gives more dangerous situation for giving the infections. Now obesity. Now on other hand, on one side we are talking about malnutrition, and in second side is what? The overnourished people. That gives what? That gives the obesity. Now in obesity also, the adipose tissue, it gives what? It gives the inflammation, increased risk of infection. Inflammatory markers which are secreted by abdominal adipocytes suppress the replication of both T and B cells. Then leptin, which is a hormone produced by the fat cells, also supports the white blood cell production, enhances the immune function. But what happened? The obese people have high levels of leptin, but their immune cells and phagocytes become unresponsive. So they are unresponsive as such. These impairments, because of what? Because of the overweight, overnourishment, they are reversible if you control the weight, if you reduce the weight, and if you control the diet. Now, other factors include what? The hormones. Now, hormones, they are the good type of immunomodulators, alter the sensitivity of immune system. For example, the steroid hormones. Now, steroid hormones, they suppress the B cells and T cells. Why? Because generally the steroids, they are giving what? They are the negative type of chemotaxis. So negative type of chemotaxis, as it is there, they are suppressing what? They are suppressing the activity of B and T cells. Then the female sex hormones are known to stimulate of both adaptive and innate immunity responses. Estrogen, which is there, it may influence certain antigens. Now these antigens, they are antigens of our body, they are processed by the estrogen, and what happened? Our own antigen become what? Foreign, and it gives what? It gives the autoimmunity. So some autoimmune diseases such as the lupus erythematosus, that is SLE, systematic lupus erythematosus, strike women preferentially, and their onset often coincides with the puberty because of what? Because of the hormonal changes. So the hormone also influence the various type of what? Various type of the conditions, and it also act as an immunomodulator. And in contrast to female, male sex hormones such as the testosterone, it is immunosuppressive. If you go for excessive of the exercise, it increases the testosterone level and can reduce your immunity. For example, those who are the workers, laborers, they go for excessive work, physical strenuous work, and in that we find that they are not obese, but they are more susceptible to infection. It is because of what? One of the reason is that the testosterone level, their testosterone level, they go on increasing, and it reduces what? It reduces the immunity, so they become more susceptible to respiratory infections and so on. Other hormones appear to regulate the immune system as well. Most notably, it is the prolactin, growth hormone, and vitamin D. Now, this vitamin D, it is very, very crucial to activating our immune defenses. And without sufficient intake of vitamin D, the T cells will not be able to react and fight off the serious infections in the body. So vitamin D, for many more time, it is ignored in countries like India, in the developing countries, and even also in the foreign countries, that is in the Western world. So the vitamin D deficiency and vitamin D, it is very crucial in your immune system. Now, Indian diet, it is what it is generally. When we talk about the Indian diet, it is classified as a cereal pulse based Indian diet, and they are qualitatively deficient in micronutrients, particularly iron, calcium, vitamin A, riboflavin, folic acid, and vitamin D. Now here, there are two type of malnourishments. One which is because of what? One which is because of the protein deficiency of proteins and macromolecules, that is called as commonly as what? It is the protein energy malnutrition. Now here, the National Institute of Nutrition, it worked on what? It worked on the micronutrient deficiencies. Now there is micronutrient, that is what? It includes the different type of vitamins, different type of what? Different type of your different type of the minerals which are required in very small amounts. So what is their role in the malnutrition? Now their role is very high. We ignore generally the micronutrients, but the repeated diet surveys which are done by National Nutrition Monitoring Bureau, NNMB, which is situated at National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, they have conducted the surveys in 9 states across India, and they found that the cereal based Indian diets are qualitatively deficient in micronutrients, particularly iron, calcium, vitamin A, riboflavin, folic acid, and because of that, it gives what? It gives a hidden hunger. Hidden hunger, it is what? They may be fulfilling their intake for what? Intake for the protein and the other things. The protein and other things, they are given in a sufficient amount, but the absorption of protein and absorption of macronutrient depend on what? It depend on the micronutrients. So the micronutrients, as they are insufficient in amount, what happen? The macronutrients are not absorbed, and then it causes what? It causes a situation like of hunger, though they are getting full amount of their the dietary according to their dietary recommendations or dietary allowance recommendations, but they are not getting it completely for their metabolism. So that is called as a hidden hunger. So it gives what? The low intake of, because of what? Now this happened because of what? Because we are taking pulses and vegetable, but many more people, they fail to take green leafy vegetable, fruits, and such type of the foods of, and then the foods of animal origin as such. So because of that, the micronutrient deficiency occur. Now what are the consequences of these micronutrient deficiencies? Now apart from human suffering due to morbidity and mortality, the malnutrition in general and micronutrient deficiencies in particular have a high economic loss. The productivity losses due to poor nutrition are estimated to be more than 10% of lifetime earnings for the individual and 2 to 3% of GDP to the nation. Now you can see how much is the economic loss because of what? Because of the micronutrient deficiencies. Now cost of treating malnutrition is 27 times more than investment for prevention. So prevention is always better than cure. And nowadays it is happening that we are fighting against the coronavirus, COVID-19, but we are not giving our attention to the nutritional levels or the nutritional status of entire community. If you have given the proper attention to the micronutrient deficiencies of Indian population, we may not have faced such type of the severe problem. So now there are some nutritional deficiencies. Prevalence of anemia in all groups in India as compared to other developing countries. Then dietary vitamin D intake is very low in India. Low consumption of vitamin D rich foods, absence of fortification, low use of supplements as such. Now, as there is the inadequate dietary intake. What happened? The weight loss, growth flattering, and then immunity lowered, mucosal damages are there. So you become susceptible for the diseases. So you are susceptible for this diseases. Incidence, occurrence, it is more. Severity, it is more. Duration, it is also more. Then there is appetite loss as the disease come. Nutrient loss is there. Malabsorption, altered metabolism. Again, this gives what? Again, this gives the weight of loss and so many other things. As the appetite loss is there, you are not taking the adequate diet. So this become what? This become the vicious circle. And then what happened? The severity of the infection, the death rate, morbidity and mortality that go on increasing. Now, what are the vitamins and minerals support the immune function? Now, these are what selected vitamins and the minerals which are strengthening the epithelial surfaces, acquire the cell-mediated immunity and the humoral immune response. The epithelial barriers, they are supported by vitamin A, vitamin C, E, zinc, cellular immunity. It is the vitamin A, B6, C, D, E, folic acid, iron, zinc, copper, selenium, etc. Antibody production, A, B6, B12, D, E, folic acid, zinc, copper, selenium. So you can see that how the different type of immunities, how the cellular immunity, epithelial, that is what the surfaces, then the cell mediated immunity and antibody mediated immunity, they are governed by what? They are governed by different type of micronutrients and the vitamins and the minerals. Now, if we start, or if we take the example of vitamin A, now what is vitamin A? Vitamin A, it exists in different forms and it is called as the retinol, retinoic acid, and it is what? It is an essential nutrient as such for different things, that is for proper visual system, maintenance of cell function and differentiation, epithelial surface integrity, erythrocyte production, reproduction, normal immune functioning. Important role of vitamin A is that the metabolite or the form of vitamin A, that is retinoic acid, it is very much important for what? For homing of what? The receptors on T and B cells. That is what? Though the T cells are there and they are what? They are participating in cell mediated immunity for proper functioning. There are certain receptors they are required to be placed on what? On the T cells. Then with those receptors, the T cells, they can go for trafficking, go in the intestinal lumen, and then they can work and they can show their effector functions and maintain an appropriate gastrointestinal gastrointestinal balance between immunity and tolerance. Now, vitamin A plays this role. So if we are not having vitamin A, then though the T cells are present, they cannot work because they don't have certain type of the accessory equipments, that is, they are called the receptors. Now, how these receptors they form? By the retinoic acid, that we can see. Again, it has been found that the retinoic acid, it has a dual effect. That is what? In one way, it gives the modulation of regulatory T cell differentiation in the steady state. That is what? When there is no active infection or immune response is going on, while it will promote what? The T cell activation and Th1, there is the T helper 1 and T helper 17 cell responses during what? During an ongoing immune response or in an infection. So the retinoic acid, it functions in the steady state as well as in the active immune response. Vitamin A supplementation reduce the child health mortality due to measles and diarrhea. Now this is what, how the retinoic acid, plays an important role in cell-mediated immunity. Now you can see here, this is the this is the intestinal lumen. This is the intestinal lumen. This is the lamina propria of the intestine, and this is what the intestinal epithelium, which is lining what the lamina propria and intestinal lumen. Inside the intestine, this is the mesenteric lymph node. Now this is the mesenteric lymph node. In the mesenteric lymph node, always all of you know that there is a cell mediated immunity start from there. So these are the dendritic cells, and these are the T lymphocytes. Now the T lymphocytes, they are present inside the lymph node. The T lymphocyte must come outside, and then they must attach to the intestinal wall. Then they can give their effector function. Now what happened here? The dendritic cells which are present, when the T lymphocyte, they form a complex with the dendritic cell with MHC peptide and TCR complex. At that time, induction is there. Because of that induction, the dendritic cell produces the CD103 plus integrin. Now this is the substance, or this is the biochemical which gives the conversion of retinol, because whatever the vitamin A we are taking, it comes in the form of retinol. Now that retinol, it is converted into retinoic acid. So this CD103 plus, it is responsible for forming the retinoic acid. As soon as this retinoic acid forms, it gives the induction to the T lymphocyte, which will give the formation of alpha 4. Now this alpha 4 and beta 7, they form. These are the two receptors which are placed on a proper place on the surface of T lymphocyte. At the same time, the CCR9, these are the chemokine receptors. They are also projected from the T lymphocyte. And then what happened? There is the movement. There is a movement as such. CCR9, they are the chemokine receptor. When there is an infection or when there is a foreign body in the epithelial lining, the epithelial lining produce CCL5 chemokine. So CCL25 chemokine, it is formed. As soon as the CCL25 chemokine form, it is received by, or it is sensed by CCR9. So CCR9, it goes to what? So this T lymphocyte with CCR9, it goes to intestinal lumen. And then what happened? The high endothelial venules which are present in the endothelial lining and in the lamina propria, they produce what? They produce one particular type of the receptor that is called as the MADCAM1. The MADCAM1, it is present on what? It is present on the epithelial lining, intestinal epithelial lining, and then this alpha 4 beta 7, they join with what? The MADCAM1, and then it is properly installed, and then it gives what? It gives its effector function, drives out the infecting organism or whatever it may be. So here, if the retinoic acid is not there, if the retinol is not there in your system, the retinoic acid cannot be produced. If the retinoic acid is not produced, alpha 4 beta 7 cannot form, CCR9 cannot form, and though the T lymphocytes are present in your lymphatic node, they cannot give their effector function, and you cannot be saved from the infection. So this is the role of vitamin A. Now here, this is the retinol. Now this is the retinol and the retinoic acid. The retinol also have the function, it activates the monocyte, macrophages, lymphocyte, myeloid, Kupffer cells. Kupffer cells gives the TNF alpha protein, then it gives the systemic inflammation, acute phase response, it gives the adaptive immunity. Retinoic acid also responsible for what? For the B cell and T cell proliferation. The neutrophils which are there, they give what? They give the phagocytosis, because what happened? The T lymphocytes which are homing on the mucosal barriers, they entrap the bacteria, and then the neutrophil, they give what? They give their phagocytosis. So this is how the vitamin A is very much helpful. Now vitamin A also helps in the development of immune system function by promoting the mucus development in the lungs and in the airways. Mucus is defense mechanism, is a defense mechanism against bacteria and viruses. Vitamin A helps in the development of antibodies required to fight the infection. So now next comes the vitamin C. Now vitamin C, we talk about vitamin C nowadays about in the COVID-19. Many more people say that vitamin C you can take. It enhances what? It enhances the it enhances the synthesis and stabilization of what? Stabilization of the different things. That is what your different type of the tissues. It protects against what? The ROS, that is the reactive oxygen induced damage. What happened when the certain type of the pathogen it is killed? At that time, the reactive oxygen species is produced by the neutrophils. But this reactive oxygen species, it can damage what? It can damage our own cells also. So vitamin C, as it is an antioxidant, it also gives what? It also gives a protection. Enhances the keratinocyte differentiation, then lipid synthesis, enhances the fibroblast proliferation, migration, shortens the time to wound healing, then acts as an antioxidant, electron donor, enhances the motility, chemotaxis, then enhances the phagocytosis and ROS generation, enhances microbial killing, facilitates apoptosis and clearance, necrosis, decrease the necrosis and netosis. Netosis, it is nothing but neutrophil entrapment traps which are there. Now these are also decreased, enhances the differentiation and proliferation of T cells, enhances the antibody level, modulate the cytokine production. Now this modulation of cytokine level, it is very, very important. All of you know that in the cell mediated immunity, the T cells, they produce what? Or certain type of the active T cells, they produce what? They produce the cytokine. Now if the cytokines are produced much more, then it may produce what? It may produce the condition that is called as the cytokine storm. So cytokine storm, if it occur, it will not only destroy the pathogen, but it will destroy also your own cells. And that is the condition which is occurring in what? In the COVID-19, the early stages when it was not noticed. So the cytokine production must be modulated. It must be produced in an optimal way. It should not be a storm. Then it decreases the histamine levels. Histamine, it is produced in hypersensitive reaction. So the histamine levels are too much, then it will cause what? It will cause damage to our own cells too much. Therefore, the vitamin C, it is what? It is very, very important in the immune system. Now, this is what, how the vitamin C, it acts on what? In the innate immunity and in the adaptive immunity. The neutrophil migration, neutrophil chemotaxis, then neutrophil chemotaxis, then phagocytic activity, oxidant generation, and there are so many other things which are done by what? Which are done by the neutrophils, and they are helped by the vitamin C. Then it enhances the activity of MQ, the macrophage activation, phagocytic activity, natural killer cell generation, it is also enhanced, NK cell proliferation, it is also there, cytotoxic activity is there, anti-tumoral activity is there as such by the NK cells, and that is enhanced by the vitamin C. Then B lymphocyte proliferation, and because of that, the IgM, IgG, and IgA production is also there. T cell proliferation, Th1, T helper 1 polarization, Th17 polarization, CTL activity, DTH responses are good because of what? Because of the vitamin C. So this is what this is the role of vitamin C. Now vitamin C, it increases the chemotaxis. Neutrophils, they show more chemotaxis in what? In the presence of vitamin C. Enhances the phagocytic activity, gives the ROS and killing. then necrosis and netosis, it is there. Apoptosis occur, and because of that, the clearance of the cell. Apoptosis, it is very, very important for certain type of the cells. If they are not apoptized, then because of that, what may happen? It may give what? It may give the cancer conditions. So vitamin C, it enhances the apoptosis and give the clearance of such type of the cells also. So now come to the vitamin D. Now vitamin D is what? It is a very unique type of vitamin. It has got a hormonal role also, and it acts in the on the immune system by two ways. That is what? In a positive way and in a negative way. When it is what? The inflammatory condition is there, it modulates the cell mediated immunity in a negative way, and when it is what? It is the repair mechanism is going on, at that time it modulates the cell mediated immunity in a positive way. So both the conditions are there, and that's why this vitamin D is very, very important. So here now vitamin D exists in different forms. That is what? Vitamin D2, D3 and vitamin D. And then there is one more form of vitamin D, that is, it is called the calcitriol, and that is 125 vitamin D. So this 125 vitamin D, it acts on the immune system in two ways. In one way, it is acting in a positive way. That is what? The 125 vitamin D, it acts on T cell, include the suppression of T cell proliferation, shift from Th1 to Th2 development, inhibition of Th17 cell, facilitation of T regulatory cells as such. Now vitamin D, that is its form, the 125 vitamin D, it acts on the monocyte dendritic cells, include the inhibition of inflammatory cytokine production by monocyte and inhibition of dendritic cell differentiation maturation. So the B part of this, it is what? It is the negative way. That is what? It gives the inhibition of inflammatory cytokine production, and that is very, very important. It has a major role again in the COVID-19. Then it, on the other hand, it increases what? It increases the T cell proliferation also. It suppresses the T cell proliferation also, T17 cell development, which gives what? Which gives certain type of the cytotoxic effect. So the vitamin D is a very, very important type of vitamin. Now this is what, how the vitamin D is there. Now vitamin D, D3, it is what? It is the cholecalciferol, and then the vitamin D2, it is what? It is the argocalciferol. Both of them, they are converted into what? They are converted into vitamin D, that is called as the 25D. It occur in liver. Now when it happen in the liver, this 25D form of the vitamin D, it can be detected, or it can act on what? On the monocytes and the macrophages in an intracarine way. What happened here? When it reaches to the monocytes and the macrophages, they contain one particular type of the enzyme that is called as the CYP27B1. It is what? It is the vitamin D activating enzyme. And then the VDR, that is what? Vitamin D receptors. So by action of these both, it is converted into the another form, that is the 125D. This 125D, it is nothing but the calcitriol. Now this calcitriol, it gives what? It gives the induction of production of antibacterial and antiviral substances in what? In the monocyte and the macrophages. In the similar way, it goes to epithelial cell, trophoblast and the decidual cell. There also it gives a similar effect. Now what happened in the neutrophil? In the neutrophil, the CPY27B1 is absent, so it cannot convert the 25D into 125D. But there in the kidney, the 25D, it is converted into what? It is converted into 125D. So that is available to the neutrophil, and it is called as the endocrine way. Again, it gives what? It gives a similar effect. Then the dendritic cells. The dendritic cell, they are also giving what? They are also giving the formation of 125D. Now this dendritic cell, they act on the key helper cells as I explained earlier, and they suppress their production. Then the TH cells, again 125D may be available via kidney also, and we get what? We get the suppression of what? The suppression of the cell mediated immunity, which is necessary in certain type of the condition. Otherwise, it may give the aggravated reaction and it will damage the host tissue. So here, now here what happened? Now the vitamin E. Now this vitamin E is a fat soluble antioxidant. It can protect polyunsaturated fatty acids in the membrane from oxidation, regulate the production of reactive oxygen species, that is ROS, reactive nitrogen species, modulate signal transduction. Immunomodulatory effect of vitamin E have been observed in the animal and human model under what? Under the disease conditions. Now these are the possible effects of vitamin E. Now vitamin E it reduces what? It reduces a very important thing, that is the PGE2. What is the PGE2? PGE2, it is what? It is the PGE2, it is the prostaglandin E2. It is the hormone. Now this prostaglandin E2 hormone, it affects by various ways, particularly in case of what? In case of the ladies. Then the COX-2. The COX-2, it is what? It is the cyclooxygenase 2. This cyclooxygenase 2, it is formed in the arachidonic acid conversions. And again, this will help in what? This will help in production of PGE2. So nitric oxide formation, it is also there, but vitamin E, as it is an antioxidant, it gives what? It gives lowering of what? The lowering of PGE2, COX-2 and NO. So that's why you are protected. In dendritic cells, what happened? The vitamin E, it gives what? It lowers down the cluster differentiation and dendritic cell formation, interleukin-2 migration observed at very high levels of vitamin E. T cell proliferation increases with what? With the vitamin E. Synapses formation increases, interleukin-2 formation increases, interleukin-4 decreases, activation of induced cells that go on decreasing. Antibody production in the B cells, the B cell proliferation increases. NK cell, when the vitamin E levels are higher, NK cell activity increases, and because of that it may act as what? The anti-cancer agent also. So the vitamin E also shows the control of mastitis, which is caused by streptococcus, also control the diarrhea by the E. coli and Clostridium bovis. Now, vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is very, very important and crucial type of vitamin. The most important function of vitamin B is in the DNA synthesis, where it is necessary for all cell replication. In addition, it also acts on what? Acts as a modulator of human immunity. It facilitates the production of T lymphocyte recruited cellular immunity, restores the abnormally increased CD4-CD8 ratio, maintains the count of lymphocyte subgroups in normal range. B12 favors the humoral and cellular immunity and is involved in what? The carbon 1 metabolism, and there are interactions with folate metabolism. Now, the folate metabolism and vitamin B12, they are having the interrelation. What is that interrelation? Vitamin B12 deficiency condition, it gives what? It gives the formation of what? Or the maintenance of the 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, which is the methylated form of tetrahydrofolate. If this methylated form, it is not removed by the methionine synthetase, the methionine synthetase requires the vitamin B12 as a coenzyme, and because of that, if the vitamin B12 is deficient, the 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate cannot be converted into the tetrahydrofolate. This is called the trapping of 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate may result, and it will give what? It will give the deficiency of folic acid. And because of that, all of you know how the folic acid, it is important in the thymidine and purine synthesis, and subsequently the DNA and RNA synthesis, leading to alterations in what the immunoglobulin secretion. So immunoglobulin secretion depends on what? It depends on directly on the vitamin B12 and the folic acids. So again, the deficiency, it gives what? It it gives the abnormally high CD4 CD8 ratio, depression of immune defense against the viruses, bacteria, suppressed NK cell activity, treatment of the deficient peoples with appropriate dose of vitamin B12 results in elevated levels of CD3 and CD7, lymphocyte, NK cell, and also it restores what? The levels of IgG, IgA, IgM as such. So vitamin B6. Now vitamin B6, it is a coenzyme for more than 100 metabolic reactions and is essential in nucleic acid and protein biosynthesis, immune function. It is also helpful in cytokine built up from amino acids, and so it acts as a coenzyme in all type of the reactions. So cytokine development, it also depend on what? It also depend on the vitamin B6, because cytokine synthesis, it requires different type of enzymatic reaction where the B6 acts as a coenzyme. Vitamin B6 deficiency is shown to affect the development of function of lymphoidal organ, involved in the lymphoid organ atrophy. Then the vitamin B6 supplementation in arthritis patient resulted in what? The reduction in plasma interleukin 6 and TNF alpha levels in response to 12 weeks of vitamin B6 supplementation. So vitamin B6 supplementation can give certain relief to the arthritis patient also. Vitamin B6 affect both humoral and cell-mediated immunity. Lymphocyte differentiation, maturation is altered, deficiency, delayed type of hypersensitivity responses are reduced. Antibody production is indirectly impaired because of what? Because of the vitamin B6 deficiency. Effects of deficiency are seen in decreased antibody DTH response, interleukin 1, interleukin 2, interleukin 2 receptors, NK cell activity, lymphocyte proliferation, insufficient levels of B6 inhibit the immune system ability to respond to the pathogenic challenges. So the B6, it is very, very important in what? In the immune system response to the antigenic stimuli. Folic acid. Folic acid is, all of you know, it is important in what? It is important in the neural tube development, in what? In the pregnancies, but it also plays a crucial role in the nucleic acid and protein synthesis by supplying, in concert with B6 and vitamin B12, carbon 1 unit, and also therefore inadequate folic acid significantly alters the immune response, because it doesn't allow the synthesis of what? The T cells and B cells. Because of that, the antibody production is also lowered. Cell-mediated immunity is especially affected. Deficient is the blastogenic responses of T lymphocyte to certain mitogens. They are decreased in what? In the folic acid deficiency. So these are what? These are the various effects of what? Effects of folic acid on the cell-mediated immunity as well as on the antibody responses as such. Now, role of iron. Now, iron, the lymphocyte proliferation. The lymphocyte proliferation in that the lymphocyte activation is iron requiring step, mainly because Fe is essential for enzyme that is called as the ribonucleotide reductase involved in DNA synthesis. So if iron is deficient, the ribonucleotide reductase cannot work and the DNA synthesis cannot occur. As the DNA synthesis will not occur, the lymphocyte proliferation is impossible. Then the iron is linked with what? The regulation of cytokine production. Cytokine production and mechanism of action in activation of protein kinase. What happened? The proliferation of the lymphocyte. In the proliferation of lymphocyte, there is what? There is the phosphorylation step is there. Now this phosphorylation step, it is catalyzed by the protein kinase C, and the protein kinase C require the cofactor iron. So if the iron is deficient, it will affect what? It will again affect the lymphocyte activation and proliferation. So iron again, it is necessary in the myeloperoxidase activity, which is involved in the killing process of bacteria by neutrophil. So if the iron is not there, myeloperoxidase cannot act. So enzyme is there, cell is there, but if iron is deficient, it will not give the killing of bacteria, and therefore any alteration in cell iron homeostasis to either deficiency or overload has unfavorable functional consequences on the immune system. The iron deficiency anemia in the children is associated with what? Reduced neutrophil oxidative burst, and because of what? Because of that, the reduced levels of immunity. So iron deficiency among the children, it gives what? It gives the occurrence of many more type of infection, respiratory infection, parasitic infection, and so on. Now the zinc. Zinc is known to play an important role in immune system. Zinc deficient subjects experience increased susceptibility to a variety of pathogens. The T cell functions are affected adversely, even with what? The mild deficiency of zinc. Atrophy of thymus, it is also caused due to what? Due to the deficiency, and also the distortion of immunoglobulin structures is resulted because of what? Because of the zinc deficient state. So the zinc is very, very important for keeping your immune system active as such. Now the production of interferon G, interleukin 2, TNF alpha decreases, whereas the production of interleukin 4, interleukin 6, interleukin 10 remain unaffected. And then there are various type of the cells, they are reduced. NK cell activity, lytic activity decreases with zinc deficiencies. The so cytotoxic cells, the precursors of cytotoxic cells, the T cells, they also decrease. So because of that, the cell mediated immunity also decreases. Now we come to another part of the nutrition and diet, that is what? The fiber. We have to consume fiber in our daily routine. There are two parts in this. One is the healthy epithelium where the high fiber diet is there. So because of that, the epithelium become what? It is the healthy and it is not leaky. There is no entry of organism in the lamina propria. Then it gives anti-inflammatory response and trigger the differentiation. But on the other half, you can see here the gluten-rich bovine milk high fat diet where there is no high fiber. It gives a leaky type of what? The leaky type of epithelium and leaky type of the gut where the organism enter. It gives the inflammation, decreased activity of the insulin, autoimmunity, and so on. So the consumption of fiber diet, it is very, very important. The role of probiotics. The probiotics, it is also very important in the immunity. A live microbial food supplement which is beneficially affect the host animal, improvising its intestinal microbial balance. That is nothing but what? That is nothing but the probiotics. The examples of probiotics, it is Lactobacillus bulgaricus, Lactobacillus shirota, Bifidobacterium species, etc. Now this is how the probiotic activity, beneficial activities of probiotics. If you concentrate only on the immunomodulation, it gives what? Balanced immune response, alleviate the food allergy symptoms, strengthen the innate immunity, and so on. And there are so many effects of what? Of your probiotics which are present. It is what? It resists the colonization. Then it gives what? Supply of short chain fatty acids and vitamins, synthesis of different vitamins like folic acid, vitamin B12, which are necessary in the immunity. Then it become anti-carcinogenic, lactose hydrolysis, and improves what? The lactose tolerance. So there are so many effects of what? Effect of probiotics on different angles. Out of that, one is what? One is the immunomodulation also. Now here, the beneficial effects you can have: non-infectious dysbacteriosis after high dosage of antibiotic and after radiation therapy. So the dysbacteriosis, it is affected. It is controlled by what? By the probiotic. Health promotion, inhibition of carcinogenesis, anti-cholesteremic effect, that is what it reduces the cholesterol level, high calcium resorption, it produces the anti-nutritional factor, synthesis of riboflavin, vitamin B12, folic acid, pyridoxine, niacin, and protein predigestion. So this is what the role of probiotics in management. How is there the production of antimicrobial compound, production of growth substances, competition with what? Competition with the pathogens, reduction of luminal pH. Because of that, the bowel become normal. Modulation of immune system, it is also there. Enhanced barrier function, and so on. So now we come to the possible role of nutrition. All these things, how they can come, and what is the possible role of this nutrition in what? In the COVID-19. So all of you know that at present the entire world is fighting against what? Against the pandemic COVID-19. In India, the first case, it was reported in 30th of January 2020. After that, the spread of infection started at India. In India, more than nearly about 6,25,000 people. More than 12 lakh people. They are suffering in what? In the India. All over the world, nearly 1,50 lakh people are suffering. Deaths are above 6,25,000 all over the world. In India, only the yesterday's record, it was 12,63,000 positive cases are there, and deaths are above 30,000. Now, some points we must know regarding the different aspects. Mode of transmission, all of you know, is the aerosol, close contact, target organ, lower respiratory tract infection, target population 85% people more than 65 years with impaired immunity, other complications. 10% are children, 5 to 10% are above 40 to 45 with diabetes, CVD, and impaired immunity. Few cases are of young youth population. Geographical distribution, mostly urban, highly populated cities. Diagnosis, RT-PCR, rapid antibody testing, and so on. The prevention, it is physical and social distancing mainly. Prophylaxis, it is what? Hydroxychloroquine, limited for health workers and in SOS condition due to side effects. So there is no treatment, no drug is available. Supportive treatment is there. Active immunization, no vaccine till date. Passive immunization, no anti-serum. Plasma therapy is under trial. In such situation, is there any other way to protect the population? Can nutritional immunology play some role, at least to inhibit the proliferation in the host body and delay the further spread till vaccination or drug develop? To answer this, we have to take a quick look at how the COVID-19 infection occur. Now, this is what all of you know. It is now known to everybody that there are receptors on our respiratory cells. That is that is the ACE2. That is the angiotensin converting enzyme 2. These are the receptors. To that, the COVID-19 SARS-CoV that joins, it enters inside inside the tissue, membrane fusion occur. Then there is release of RNA. Then after that, the replicase enzyme is there. Then it gives the transcription also, formation of mRNAs, different mRNAs are formed. Then the protein synthesis occur, and there are nearly about NSP1 to NSP16 proteins they are produced. Now all these proteins are produced. Then there is there is the copies of RNA are produced. Packaging of packaging of the RNA in the viral protein, and then release of virus take place. So this is somehow it occur. So main thing here is the entry of virus inside inside the tissue. It requires it requires a receptor, that is ACE2. Many of you know what is the ACE2. So we will just see now how this ACE2 develop. Now in the kidneys, the renin enzyme is there. This renin is it is the aspartic proteases. It is the aspartic protease, and then it act on what? It act on the angiotensinogen protein, which is provided by the liver, and then it is converted into what? It is converted into angiotensin 1. So as soon as the angiotensin 1 is available, the another enzyme, it is induced. That is ACE1, angiotensin converting enzyme ACE1. It gives what? It gives the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Now this angiotensin 2, it gives the vasoconstriction and other things, and then it gives what? It gives the CVD, that is the cardiovascular diseases and so on. So our system, it gives the induction of ACE2. ACE2 convert the angiotensin 2 into angiotensin 1 to 7 different parts, and because of that we are protected from the cardiovascular diseases. So here the ACE2, it is available. So those people, those who are having cardiovascular diseases, they are having a ready type of what? The ACE2. Now here is the role of vitamin D, that is 125 vitamin D, which we have already discussed, that how this 125D, that is the calcitriol, it is produced. Now vitamin D, if it is present in your system, first of all, if vitamin D is there and 125D vitamin D form is available inside your system, it will inhibit the gene expression, which will give what? Which will give the renin. So the renin itself, it is inhibited, and that's why there will be no production of what? There is no production of angiotensin 1, because angiotensinogen, it is given by liver. So angiotensin 1 formation requires the renin. So there is no angiotensin 1. As the angiotensin 1 is not there, ACE cannot be induced. As the ACE is not induced, there is no angiotensin 2. As the angiotensin 2 is not there, the induction of ACE2 is not there. So ACE2, it is eliminated from your system as such. Now that will give what? That will prevent the entry of virus. So if you are having your nutritional status good before your infection, then the coronavirus or COVID-like virus cannot enter inside the system. So there is no receptor as such. So this is what? This is the very important function, one important function of 125D. Now this is what the how it happened. Now what is happening in the in case of the coronavirus? In the coronavirus, when the corona, it gives the infection. Corona, when it gives the infection, at that time the cell system, the cell mediated immunity, it start reacting, and it's reacting in a vigorous manner. It produces large amount of cytokine, and that is called as the cytokine storm. Now as it developed the cytokine storm, early ways, or when the infection it came initially, at that time it was thought that why the person they are dying, it is because of what? It is because of the lower amount of oxygen. But it was not the lower amount of oxygen, it was what? It was the ARDS, that is the acute respiratory distress syndrome. There all type of the lung cells, they were damaged because of this cytokine storm. Now this cytokine storm, it is somewhat, or this response, it is somewhat, it occur in a violent manner. We are actually trying to catch hold, our system trying to catch hold the coronavirus, but instead of that, it is destroying our own system. So because of that, the many more deaths, they were occurring. So this was not previously diagnosed. Later on, it was known, and then people start thinking, what should be the reason? In such type of the cases, it was found that they were vitamin D deficient. As they were vitamin D, now what happened in the vitamin D sufficient people? In the vitamin D sufficient people, the form of vitamin, that is what? It is your 125D, it was available. Now, this is what? The vitamin D. Now, vitamin D, it gives what? Vitamin 125D, it induces what? It induces the antimicrobial peptides. Then, because of that, it kills the virus, bacteria. At the same time, At the same time, it blocks what? It blocks the development of what? The development of cytokine. In the previous slides, I have given that there are two responses. One is the positive response and another is the negative type of the modulation, which is given by the vitamin D. So here the negative modulation of vitamin D come to our help. In this condition, the one part, it is of what? The expression of antimicrobial substance that is given, and in another part, it is what? The dendritic cells and other things, they are suppressed and they are not giving the formation of what? The formation of cytokine, and they are also suppressing the T cells. So because of that, the cytokine storm is not there. And that's why the vitamin persons with vitamin D optimal levels, they were saved. So here, this is what the innate immune system utilizes many approaches against what? Against the invading organism. So mediated lysis, engulfment, formation of neutrophil extracellular traps, that is what? That is the NETs, and then the antimicrobial peptide formation. The macrophages produce AMPs, that is what? The antimicrobial peptide, as we had discussed earlier, that the macrophages in presence of 125D, they are induced to produce certain type of the peptides or antimicrobial substances. In that LL37, it is what? It is produced endogenously in response to what? In response to 125 OH2, D vitamin and D3 vitamin that enhances the immunity. At the same time, what does it do? It modulates the adaptive immunity as well as through direct effect on T cell activation and on the phenotype and function of antigen presenting cells, because of which the dendritic cells, they are not giving what? They are not giving the activation for T cell formation. Because of that, the cytokine level, they are also reduced. So there are two major classes of amphipathic AMPs which are present in the human respiratory lining fluids. One is the defensin, other is the cathelicidin. The cathelicidin, it is important. It is LL37. It has got the antibacterial and antiviral activity and the chemotactic activity also for the different immune cell. Because of that, such type of the virus can be limited. So here, the point is that the vitamin D, it gives what? It gives the two effect. One is what? One is the formation of antimicrobial peptides, and then second is what? Suppression of T cell activation and consequently the suppression of cytokine levels. So with the vitamin D3, the hormonal form of vitamin D is a negative endocrine regulator of what? Of the renin-angiotensin cysteine, inhibit the renin biosynthesis. It gives what? It gives the reduction in the T cell formation and increases what? Increases the antimicrobial and antiviral substances. So if you are having the proper type of vitamin D levels, you are protected from what? From the corona type infection, COVID-19 infection. But if you are vitamin D deficient, then definitely there may be a chance of getting cytokine storm and the other consequences. So after that, the role of vitamin B12 in what? In the COVID-19. Now from the life cycle of coronavirus, it is clear that the first virus bind to the ACE2, then enter inside the cell, releasing the single-stranded RNA. This RNA is translated and battery of protein is produced. In all, it produced 16 proteins, number NSP1 to NSP16. Out of that, the NSP12 is the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase or replicase, which is responsible for making the copies of daughter RNA. Now, the replicase enzyme, its active site, it can bind to the methylcobalamin, that is the methylated form of vitamin B12, which will give the inhibition of NSP12, and thus the further progeny of virus may not be produced. Thus, vitamin B12 can give the protection in COVID-19. More investigations are required in this regard. Then possible role of probiotics. Probiotic cultures are known to produce anti-nutritional factors in that they produce the peptide, they produce the tripeptides, which are the renin inhibitors. Vitamin D, it inhibit the gene expression of renin. But in probiotics, what happens? Though the renin is available, the probiotic culture produce the tripeptides which gives the blockage of renin active site. So because of that, the renin cannot act on the angiotensinogen, and the further chain of reaction it is inhibited. No ACE2 will be available. So again, the probiotic cultures also help, or the probiotic things, they can also help in protecting you as such. But one thing must be noted: you cannot take the probiotic culture once the COVID, you are affected from the COVID-19. Because of what? Why it is so? Because it gives the down regulation of what? The down regulation of the ACE2. And as the down regulation of ACE2 occur, the angiotensinogen 2 cannot be removed. And that's why the COVID, along with the COVID, the person may have the cardiovascular disease also. So if you want to take the such type of the treatment, or you want to take such type of the thing, you must take it before occurrence of what? Occurrence of the infection. That is what? That is the COVID-19. Once the infection starts, it is not a curing thing, but it is a preventing thing. Mind well. So what is the present scenario of vitamin D, vitamin B12 deficiency in India? The prevalence of vitamin D deficiency is reported worldwide, both in sunshine deficient and sun sufficient type of the countries as such. In India, nearly about in India, 50 to 94% people are showing what? They are showing the vitamin D deficiencies as such. So there is a high prevalence as such seen throughout the country. Now, causes of vitamin D deficiency: increased indoor lifestyle, thereby preventing the adequate exposure to sunlight. This is mainly in urban population due to modernization. Pollution can hamper the synthesis of vitamin D in the skin by UV rays. Changing food habits contribute to lower dietary calcium and vitamin D intake. Phytates and phosphates, which are present in the fiber-rich diet, can deplete vitamin D stores, increase the calcium requirement, increase skin pigmentation, application of skins and application of sunscreens. Cultural practices such as the burqa and parda system, unspaced and unbalanced pregnancies in the woman with dietary deficit can lead to the worsening of vitamin D status in both mother and child. So these are the causes of vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin B12 deficiency is in 47% of Indian population. Reason is the lack of balanced diet, more carbohydrate pulses in vegetarian diet, less milk, curd, non-vegetarian food consumption, etc. Now, current food habits and other practices: consumption of less balanced food, consumption of fast food, consumption of carbonated beverages. This gives the deficiencies of micronutrient. Micronutrient deficiency is not problem of poor people, but also of the affluent families. Unnecessary use of plant foods, non-exposure to sunlight due to excess use of air conditioners, use of sunscreen lotions, overcrowding, certain taboos and beliefs about the diet, early marriages, unspaced pregnancies, poverty and illiteracy. So in conclusion, nutrition plays an important role in innate immunity and acquired immunity against infection. Micronutrients are important for healthy life. Micronutrient deficiency is not a problem of one economic or social class, but low immunity is universal problem. Thus, large population is susceptible to the infection. Vitamin deficiencies like vitamin D, B12, folic acid, iron deficiencies must be addressed in order to fight against infections like COVID-19, where no vaccination treatments are available. Promotion of probiotics, an easy way to boost up the immunity and to overcome the vitamin deficiencies. Lifestyles and wrong eating habits must be changed. So, eat healthy, be safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such excellent, informative, detailed talk. on nutritional immunity. Sir, your lecture is definitely boost to us to know about nutrition and its role in immunity. Sir, there is kind request.
Yes.
Many of the participants are asking for your PPT. Can you share your PPT to us so that we can share to those who require?
Okay.
Okay, sir. Now I can call upon Shri Srinivas Pawar, Department of English, Balasaheb Desai College, Patan, to take the charge of discussion session. Discussion session will be chaired by Dr. Mari GV and he will conclude the session. So over to Pawar Srinivas.
Hello.
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 Ah.
Now session is open for the discussion. If anybody has questions, you can ask directly. Some questions are there in the chat box also.
Yeah.
On the chat box of YouTube as well as on this platform. I would like to ask those questions first. So one of the question, no doubt, sir, most of the questions already you have clarified, but just a part of the curiosity of the participants, we will take here some questions for the discussion. One of the question is from Shweta More. She asks, how can we use medicinal plants to improve our immunity? Because allopathic drugs, they have some side effects. And another question of her is vitamin C is helpful in combating COVID-19? Can we discuss on it, sir?
Yeah. Regarding medicinal plants, there are regarding medicinal plants as such,
yes.
research is to be done. There are certain type of the references are there. Some Ayush Ministry guidelines are there, where they are giving it not for the curing, but they are what? They are the immunomodulators. So okay. Immunomodulators can be, immunomodulatory effect can be there from medicinal plants. But one thing is that the medicinal plants don't give any side effect. It is a wrong belief. They can also give the side effect and they must be tested before using. So that is one thing. Then what are the another thing? Another
vitamin C is helpful in combating COVID-19.
Yeah, vitamin C, because again vitamin C, it is regulating the cytokine development. Yes. So somehow as the cytokine development it is controlled. So main problem in the COVID-19, it was what? It was the cytokine storm. So to protect ourselves from cytokine storm, we can have that, but it is not again a cure. It is just what? It is a protection and a prevention.
Okay, sir. One more question is there. Which are the immunity improving nutrients, and which cells help in fighting against bacteria and viruses, as well as how to boost our immunity naturally?
Actually, we had discussed so many things in
yes,
our discussion.
You have already covered these things.
Yeah,
yes,
I covered already.
Yes, so, yes. Okay, sir. Anybody is asking directly questions live?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes.
Our president, Dr. Sopana Sawan, will eager to ask the question.
Yes.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute.
Yes. You can take your own time.
Hello. हॅलो काका, तुम्हाला क्वेश्चन विचारायचे असतील तर ऑडिओ अनम्यूट करा. हॅलो. हा सर, विचारा क्वेश्चन. काका तुम्ही क्वेश्चन विचारा, आवाज येत. ऑडिओ अनम्यूट करा तुमचा. हा आधी ऑडिओ अनम्यूट करा सर तुमचा. हॅलो काका. हॅलो. हॅलो काका.
फोनवरती सांगा फरक.
Sir, wait a minute. Just a minute, sir. Hello, Mari sir, is there any question?
No, all questions are covered.
Okay. Now we came to the conclusion. At the end of session we reached. I request our IQAC coordinator, Dr. P.Y. Fadnis, to express vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, all of you. B.D. College, Patan, and Microbiologist Society of India national webinar on immunological aspect and COVID-19 with the help of IQAC and Microbiology Department of our college. I am Dr. Prashant Fadnis, IQAC Coordinator, would like to propose vote of thanks. First of all, I am thankful to Dr. Sanjeev Patankar sir, State Coordinator, Microbiologist Society of India and former Principal, Nagpur, for his valuable guidance on nutritional immunity and infection. World is facing critical situation due to COVID pandemic. The guidance is really valuable because we all know the phrase that you are what you eat. So nutrition and diet is immensely important. Thank you once again, sir. I am also thankful to today's keynote addresser, Dr. Arvind Deshmukh sir, for his eminent thoughts on today's topic. I would like to give my special thanks to Srimant Amar Singh Patankar, Chief Guest of today's webinar and General Secretary of Koina Education Society, Patan, who plays a pivotal role in progress of our institution. I am thankful to Dr. G.V. Mali sir, Faculty MBSK Kadegaon, for session chairperson of today's webinar. I am also grateful to President of Koina Education Society, Dr. Sopan Rao Chauhan sir, who always guides and supports us. I also convey my gratitude to all directors of Koina Education Society, Patan. Without the support of our principal, Dr. S.D. Pawar sir, all the things would not be possible. So I acknowledge him as well. I am also grateful to Dr. M.R. Sapkal madam, coordinator of today's webinar. The success of today's webinar lies in the enthusiasm and efforts of madam and her team, which includes Dr. C.U. Mane, Dr. R.K. Nimat, Mr. A.T. Sutar, Mr. S.S. Pawar, Mr. S.D. Gaikwad, Mr. G.D. Supugdi, and all support staff. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all the participants of today's webinar. Thank you very much. Feedback link will be posted shortly. Thank you once again.
With the kind permission of the chairperson, we conclude the session. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.